Hey, welcome to Corbellic Studios. We're back. We're back here on another live stream where we're going to be going over today some really valuable lessons. I got a jam-packed show for you. This is going to be a really good one. Today, we're going to be talking about why it only takes 3 canvases to start. It only takes 3 canvases. You don't need a lot. You don't have to think about volume starting off. You don't have to think about such a large amount of things that you need to do and get bogged down. It only takes just a little bit. All right. So we're going to be going over that today. We're also going to be going over why it's never too late. You're never too old. It's never too late. It's never too, what I always like to say, it's never too late to be who you want to be. So that's what we got this morning. We are in the morning show. Hope everybody's good out there. Seeing who we have in here already. Let's see if we have some people in the chat. Let's see what we got here. All right. We got morning or afternoon, no matter where you're at in the country right now, but we are here and I'm excited. I'm excited. We really got a really cool show. I'm excited to talk about these things. Everything that I talk about, everything that we end up getting into, I always have such a passion to talk about it, right? Like I could talk about it like the back of my hand. That's why it's like so important for me to have these moments, right, where I have these type more coaching. These are the things that I'm focused more into, and that way it's easier for me where I feel like I'm not juggling, kind of like doing 2 things at once, 3 things at once. I need to be having the direct focus of the points that I want to make. A lot of times I'm like, dang, I forgot to say this. I forgot to get this kind of point across. But we're here today. All right. So the morning health juice for today is going to be pineapple, carrot, ginger, turmeric, and orange juice with a dash of cayenne pepper. It's good. I like it. It's a good morning elixir. It gets the blood flowing. Mm. And you can see how orange it is from the turmeric, but it's good for the blood. Make sure you're smarter. These are things that I like to talk about as well because when it comes to doing art, you have to pay attention to your body. You have to pay attention to your mindset. Your mindset is everything. And you don't really realize that when you're starting off or when you're doing anything, but really it's your mindset. Your mindset is everything. Your mind can play tricks on you. Your mind can make you believe that things aren't working out. Your mind can make you believe that you're not good enough. Your mind can make you believe anything. So that's why I always like to say, you're right in whatever you say. If you say you're not good enough, if you say you can't do a certain number, if you say you can't make a certain dollar amount, then you're right in whatever you say that you are. I wish I would have clipped this one scene that I just seen. Maybe I could do it for tomorrow's morning show. But there was this scene where they were showing. I guess they did an experiment where they had an ant, and the ant was just on a piece of paper, but someone was drawing a pen on the piece of paper, and the ant, for some reason, it couldn't go past the circle that was on the ink or the drawing because it was their brain playing an imagination, and it was just these false limitations. So it made me think about us, right? It made me think about how many limitations that we put on ourselves about success, different things that we want to do. And it's just like, it's the brain playing tricks on you. And then really you could just walk over the drawing. I mean, the ant could have just walked over the drawing. So it's certain things like that too, where we really do put ourselves in mental cages and limitations on things that aren't even there. They're not even there. All right. So that's kind of some of the things that I like to talk about. All right. Who do we have here in the let's give some love to the chat right now. Let's see who we have in here. All right, we got Nancy from Hawaii. Hi, Nancy. All right, we got Nancy from rainy Florida. We got Felicia. All right, we got a bunch of people from Florida in here. We have Miriam here. All right, let's see here. Miriam says, spent most of the afternoon trying to get a bird out of the house. Finally cornered it in the bedroom and was able to get it out the out the window. That sounds like an eventful morning already. All right, we got John Hunter here. All right, we got Verdant Garden, funny animals. All right, look, we got the whole, we got a lot of people coming in here. That's really awesome to see. We got a really good show today. So I really have a lot of great things to talk about, like we always talk about. I was saying, and we had a Q&A yesterday. If you're not already part of the elite community, then every single week we have an elite, we have a Q&A where we get on Zoom, and then, we can talk to each other, or people can ask any kind of direct questions in regards to their business or how to make things better or whatever, right? We just have a Q&A every single week. So if you're not part of that, join, click the link, and you can be part of that. But I was saying yesterday, going forward, I'm going to be more in what I need to do, what my passion is at this point, is be more of an authority where I have to be direct in my coaching. So that way I can have more points. That way I can help you out and be more beneficial. So I'm cutting back on doing the painting videos. You're not really going to see too many of the painting videos, or at least me going live with the painting, because it's kind of like, I'm running, I'm juggling, and then I'm painting. I'm doing a lot of things at once, and I make it seem very easy, but to have the train of thought and the topics to keep on task, but also just to be beneficial to you for coaching and to get the information of what you need to be getting, it needs to be more sharp focus, where I have a direct of what we're doing right now, and it could be more of a show. I have no problem doing this. There's going to be a lot more whiteboard videos coming up that I'm going to be doing this week, where it's going to be very, very strong points. That way it's beneficial to you and things that you need to do in yourself. I mean, I already have over 300 videos on I already have over 300 videos on YouTube of me showing that I painted, over 1,000 paintings so far. And I did that within like 4 months already. And so it's like, all right, you already know I sold 18,000 paintings. You already know I know how to paint, right? You don't need to see the coach paint anymore. Like, if you want to see the painting, there's a whole playlist in there of me painting. You can watch that for 2 years if you want to. It's all there. But to focus on this is what I'm passionate on, and what I need to do to really help people, because I only got into this not to be a content creator. I got into this so I can help people free themselves, so I can help you make some money and get yourself out of whatever situation. Because I already know the situations that I was in, and these are the things that I felt. So when I was driving to work, right? And I'm miserable in the rain, or I'm driving to work and I'm like, man, I want to do this. I have this voice. I want to say this. These are all the things that I daydreamed about saying, about having a community to say these things of what I'm saying now. So I need to be more focused in my thoughts about how to coach, how to benefit you, and how to get these points across. All right. So that's more of the things that I'm focused on, and just wanted to let you know in there. All right. So. All right, let's see what we have. Anybody else that came in here? All right. If you haven't already, please leave a like on the video. Let YouTube know that we're doing God's business, that we're about to have an amazing show here. We're about to drop a lot of knowledge. We're about to give a lot of encouragement. We're about to give a lot of inspiration. And that is what it's all about. It's funny, this morning before I was driving into the studio, I was saying to myself, I said, I've always been the type of person my whole life where I would always try to encourage people, or I would always try to give inspiration. But this is the only time in my life where I actually, it's rewarding for me, and I get paid off of doing it by encouraging people, by helping them, by pointing them in the right direction. And you already know what it's like as well too. You know how you got like certain people in your life, or you got coworkers, or you got people who love always complaining to you. They love telling you their problems. They love telling you that every day is a sad day. Every day I'm this, every day I'm that. And then you're the type of person, right, where you're like, all right, well, let's do something about it, right? Like, let's not just complain. Let's have a solution for the problem. And then what do? They get mad at you. Now you're the bad guy, right? Now you're the bad guy. So then what happens is, after a while, you have to learn how to just keep your mouth shut. You had to learn to not say anything at all. Mind me. Because you know that you're just going to offend people. You're going to offend people by trying to help them with their solution. So that's what I was thinking about this morning. I was cracking up. I don't know. There was just something that hit me, where it's like, I love what I do. I always dreamed about this, because I was always getting in trouble by trying to tell people a solution. I don't want to hear about problems all the time. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it. I believe that's your mind. I don't believe in it. Yes, I understand there are always moments in time that you're going to have downs, you're going to have lows. We're always going to have these moments. It doesn't matter if you're a millionaire, if you're a billionaire, it doesn't matter who you are. You're always going to have these moments where you're going to have lows because it's in your mind. But then the next day is always a better day. And then I'm always the type of person where it's like, all right, let's find a solution. Now, what I always like to say is if there is no solution, and if I don't have control of situation, then I'm not going to stress about it because I can't control it anyways. But if there is a situation where I can have a solution and I can control it, then I'm going to do everything about it to control it. Because me, I'm the type of person where I'll have anxiety over something that I can control or something that I need to fix. So instead, I just rather go head on with it and fix it. Let's have a solution and fix it. Instead of me feeling like crap, I'm not going to feel like crap and have anxiety and think about all these things on something that I could either fix or I could try to go around, right? So let me know if you relate to something like that. Let's see here. This is so funny. You know what I'm talking about. There's so many people like that. There's people like that that's going to be in your life, or even your coworkers, right? I used to be the type of person where when I was younger, people used to complain all the time about their job, and I'd be like, "Well, how come you don't find a new job? How come you don't? If you don't like this job, then how come you're treating yourself like the ant, right? The ant that's on the piece of paper, and for some reason the ant is moving around, but it can't get outside where the person drew um, a circle around it. Like you could get off the paper if you want, but it's just the illusion that's in your mind. How come you can't leave this job? I can't leave the job. You just don't understand. They always got some thing like that where it's like, you can. Life is too short. God is powerful. Like you're putting limitations on yourself. So don't put limitations on yourself. And it's never too late to be who you want to be. All right. So those are some of the things that I just wanted to talk about right there and get into. Let's see if we have some other people that came into the community. Leave some likes in here. Leave me a super chat. Let me know that you appreciate everything that's going on here as well. All right. We got Marseille here. Marcel. Sandra. We got Sandra here. Hey, Sandra. Sandra. Hey, Sandra. Actually, I think that today, yes, today you're actually gonna be spotlighted on the I'm gonna have you spotlighted on today's artist. So that's funny that you're here. I'm kind of giving it away right now, but hey, whatever. Congratulations, Sandra. You've been doing a great job. I can't wait to show your artwork right now and let everybody see what kind of beautiful story that you have, how you've been showing up, how everything is organized, the colors, everything. We're gonna get into that. That's gonna be one of the first things that we do, but just wanted to walk through that right there. Also, let's see. Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. So if you're new here, every time that we do the live stream, I'm going to spotlight two artists that are from the elite community. So if you want to be spotlighted as well, where you're going to be shown on here and people are going to be able to see what your store is and people could go to your store and give you more support, give you more love. You also get recognition on here. Then join the elite community so that way you can share your store. I randomly choose people who share their store in the elite community, who share their artwork, who's been consistent, who's been showing beautiful artwork, who's made sure that they've been listing correctly. I make sure to give love and support on there. So I choose two artists out of every live stream. If you want to be part of it, hey, just join the elite community. That way you get support. Also, the great side about that as well is when you're in the elite community, you automatically have a higher impression rate. You have a higher impression rate because we show each other love in there. They don't know, eBay doesn't know that you're a part of this awesome community. They don't know that. So we naturally give each other support, and we give each other likes and hearts and watchers on there. So what that does automatically, even if you have no experience, even if you just started your eBay account, that naturally boosts you up on the algorithm and up on the higher pages. So that way eBay puts you higher up, so you could get more buy it nows, and then you can get more auctions. All right. So that's how it works right there, where we help each other. A lot of times people, you have to really pay attention to that. A lot of times the top people in the elite community are people who are really paying attention, and they're sharing their store. They're sharing their store for likes, hearts, loves, things like that, because they understand that they see on their metrics and the impression rate how it goes higher and higher just based off of that. Because the computer algorithm is like, hold on, wow, this is a new account, but they must have a really good item. The computer don't know what your item is. They don't know what the painting, the category. They just know that there's a bunch of people all of a sudden putting hearts, likes, watches on your store. So if you want to be part of that, where you automatically get a boost, click the link so you can join us and do that for yourself. Start freeing yourself. Start making some money. It's not difficult. It's not difficult at all. Look, if I can do it, then you can do it. You know, that's something that I always like to say. The reason I like to say it is because it's true. God already put the inspiration there. God already put the work there. The art is already there. The beauty is already there. It's just up to you to show up. But sometimes we put limitations on ourselves, like that ant. I think that ant's going to be like our new polar bear hairs kind of thing, because I really like the analogy of it. And I'm gonna find the video of it and show it. Let me see if I can actually find the video now. Let's see here. I'm pretty sure that I can. And then I'll be able to share that with you. Let's see, ant with the and let's see who else do we have here, that anybody else that came in to the community. Anybody else that came into the comments here? I did find it. I did find it. All right, cool. So I can add that to the video. I can add that to the video later. Or actually, let me try to pull this up right now, okay? I'm gonna pull this up now for everybody. This is gonna be we'll jump into this really quick, and then that way I can.
Have you ever seen that video of the ant and the pen? No.
All right, here, let me bring this over. I'll show this really quick. And then I'll probably show it later on again, because this is really great. All right, here we go right here. All right, so check this video out real quick. Like I was saying, there's limitations on the ant. I just seen this video yesterday, but I guess there's different variations of this video. So I'm just checking this one out right here.
Have you seen that video of the ant and the pen? No. They get an ant on a piece of paper. And the guy on YouTube, it's like got millions of views on YouTube, just with a biro, draws a circle around the ant. And the ant runs to the edge of the circle and believes it's trapped. And it will not cross that line. It will not cross that line. Looking down on it from a bird's eye view, you go, oh no, that's just a figment of its imagination. They do the same with a spider. They get a piece of paper, there's a little spider on it, they draw a circle around it with a biro. It will not cross that line. As the guy's drawing the circle smaller and smaller, he accidentally draws it so close to the spider that the spider steps over the biro, and then it can never ever in its life be trapped by the biro again. And you watch it just run off the page, and he's trying to trap it again, and it can never, because it realizes that's just a wall it's built in its mind. You, me, we have drawn circles around ourselves, but they are just figments of our imagination.
So that was his breakdown of it right there. There's other variations of it as well, but I'm pretty sure that you were able to hear what he was saying, where we put these limitations on ourselves that aren't really there. Let me check. Let me see this one.
I think it's strapped.
All right, here. This is a better one right here. This is a better one. And then we'll Then I'll get started with the show. Look at this one.
Are you kidding me though? Ant.
The other pass. I think it's strapped.
Are you kidding me though? Ant, you are such an idiot.
Well, how do ants feel?
Oh my
With
god.
their antlers. So apparently the ink must send off something.
Look at that.
Maybe it's just the smell of the ink.
Could be. Yeah, they do a lot of things by smell too. That's how they find your food.
Oh my god.
But you see that it can't, for
find
some
the
reason, it
little
just can't get
door?
past that. It's the limitations they put on themselves. And this is what we do. But the cool part about this is that after a while, the ant actually goes past the drawing. And then after that, no matter how many circles that you do, how many crosses that you do, it will not be trapped in there. So we just need to get to a point. I always try to think about that every single day. Maybe something that I can free myself from in order to break a limitation. Because once you get past the idea of fear, then it's not there anymore. You just understand it's a figment of your imagination. All right. So let's see here. Let's see if we have any other new people that came in here into the community. I'm blind, so that's why I'm all squinting. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. So let's get into today's spotlight winner. Today's spotlight winner. We have two special spotlight winners today that we're going to be showing the artwork of. We're going to be showing their store. We're going to be giving recognition. We're going to be giving love. We're going to be giving support. That way you could also get into eBay and you could also give them recognition. You could give them support. You could give them love as well. It's very important. It's very, very important because, hey, look, Rome wasn't built overnight, and any small progress, we all celebrate the small wins around here. It's not about the larger thing. It's about the small wins. I always tell people to celebrate the small wins, either your first collector, your first bid, your first buy, your first listing. These things are important, and these are things to not shun, because I understand how hard it is just for these little things right there. And most people who are professional artists, gallery artists, do you understand that they don't even get a chance to have their own collector, to have their own bid, to have their own a buyer? So these things are very important out there. I mean, they might sell a certain piece to a gallery, but the gallery is the one who owns that collector. So I just want to give a special shout out because you guys have been doing a phenomenal job. You have been showing up, you've been consistent, you have beautiful artwork, and I just want to say that on there. So who I'm going to be showing right here is, let's go with our first spotlight. Our first spotlight artist is going to be Sandra Wilkes. Sandra Wilkes, she's been doing a phenomenal job. Like I said, she's showing up and showing her listings. So these are the posts right here inside the elite community where she'll make a post and then she'll say, hey, I would appreciate some hearts on here, working hard over here, and then everybody you can see here from the community where they come in and they give her love, they give her support. So you could do this as well. It costs nothing. So that way, you could do this. That way you already get the free likes, you already get the free love. So let's go into her listing right here, or her store. And you can see her store. This is her beautiful store, beautiful, beautiful store right here. Isn't this amazing? Look at this, Sandra Wilkes Studio. You can see she has a great banner. You can see she has a reason for people to buy it. Customer service, this is great. And let's put some love on here. Let's put some hearts. But look at her listings. I mean, this stuff is just so beautiful. I love her flowers. Look how beautiful this cat is right here. All right, let's pull this up. All right, so let's go through her listings together right now. And this is a great listing. One of the things that I would suggest on here that you can do is make this a little bit tighter and also add more pictures. So add a couple more pictures. Like eBay likes to see at least 6 to 7 or more. Try to fill this out a little bit more. Use the template of what we show inside the elite community, the classroom. So I show that template in there for a reason. So that way you can copy those designs that's from there, that wordage that's from there. And that way you can always have it as your own template, but also it's going to be recorded as a picture. So eBay is going to respect where there's more pictures on there. It ranks higher on the algorithm. So when you do it this way, it's going to look better. So I would just zoom in on this a little bit, crop this in a little bit more, which you could do inside eBay. And then also have a picture, like maybe the last couple of pictures, have it be a picture of yourself if possible, maybe a picture of your studio, something to make it seem more personable. So that way people feel warm, fuzzy, and they feel good about buying from you because they know that you're a real person, right? You're not someone from a factory or something like that. But I mean, other than that, this is really great. This is really great stuff. Let's go into this cat. Look at this cat. It's beautiful. And I love how you show also the details that's on here. So that's great. That way it adds up. It adds up to the photos that you're using for your listing. So each listing, you just want to have more photos on here. But what I would also suggest is go back to the classroom where I have, and you could copy and paste where the classroom lesson is called templates. Go into the templates and you can just download and you can look at the templates that I have in there. So that way you can add it to your templates, and then you don't ever have to worry about it ever again. They'll always be there, and you don't have to always have to add so many for each listing because that would take forever, right? But this is really great. So go in here, show Sandra some love. Let's look at some more of her artwork. Look at this beautiful flower right here. Isn't that nice? Yeah, so that's another thing that so you can see right here, there just needs to be more photos. So it needs to be like your C of A, an example of your C of A. It needs to be like a photo of yourself, make it personable. So that way people feel warm and fuzzy that they're buying from a nice person, a human person, and not, well, this is great. I love this. I love these type of silhouettes. Oh, that's awesome. Look at that. That's great. And then this could be your first photo. This is actually a perfect image right here. So this could be your first photo, so people could have an idea of what it looks like on the frame. And then it's easier on the upsell when you want to sell them the framing. Okay. So I just wanted to show love right there to Sandra's store. Sandra has beautiful artwork. Go and give her some love, give her some support. Let her know that you came from the community, or everyone from the community. Just show up and give her some love. I really appreciate that. And she would appreciate that as well because she has a beautiful, beautiful store. Look at that. This is great. Giving her some more love. Look at this. Look at this painting right here. This is great. I love landscapes right here. I love seeing other people's landscapes because it's always so different. And it's always different because there is no right or wrong when it comes to landscapes. Everybody loves landscapes when it comes to eBay, and there's no right or wrong of how you approach it. It's just kind of like Bob Ross, you know? A little blue here, a little blue there. There is no right or wrong, but I just love to see how people's approach to it is. For example, how cool is it that she did like the impressionism on this one, where you can see the trees, you can see the skies, kind of, and then at the bottom, it's like she used the pen for the rocks, or like a marker, and that's so cool because it's so different. It's so different than other landscapes. So I always love to see landscapes that are different than other ones. I love to see things that are totally different. So for example, I would have a landscape like this, right? And then I would draw a cartoon character on top of it just because it's something so different and people won't expect it. And yeah, that's amazing work right there. Awesome. Let's check out one more. Let's see what else that she has here. Oh, wow. Look at this. Look at this, everyone. Look at this. Let's put a heart on that one. I'll put a heart on this one as well. Look at this one. This is amazing. So I love doing artwork where it has the drips, where it's like you let the water drip and then you dry it off with the air gun or the heat gun, and then you go in, you maybe add some more flowers, you add a character, you add a beautiful portrait face. I just love that background. And people love it too because it shows a looseness, but also whatever you draw on the top of it, it shows a little bit of control. So right there here, this is a beautiful, beautiful painting. And you could tell she did it with markers, but she also put down here grow. That's awesome. That's something that you can internalize however you want. Also something for yourself. So, but yeah, I would add more photos on here, like the C of A, and then a picture of yourself, and then also the wordage on there, how we have it in the template. And then that's what you need right there. All right. So go and show Sandra some love. Show her some love right there. She has an amazing store, and it was an honor to cover it today. Beautiful. All right. The next spotlight person is going to be Michelle and Angie. Michelle Angie. I hope I said that. I hope I said that. I hope I said that right. I always butcher names. All right. So forgive me. I hope I said that right. But we have Michelle Angie, who she just started inside the elite community. She just started and she's been doing a phenomenal job. She's been showing up. I mean, she's been going out of the gate, just hitting it hard and having some beautiful artwork, really going with the vision of what she's been wanting, going after everything. So it's just really beautiful to see. And I mean, I think she just started like maybe a week ago, but I could tell already she is going to be so successful in here. I mean, she's just been doing everything correctly. So it's just really great to see how she's been taking off. But you can see here, Michelle Adji, I hope I said that right. She says another 8 here, going big with the 12x16s. Quite colorful today. Also got my first bid during the weekend. She says it's 99 cents, but it's a start, and that's all it takes to get this machine going. Hearts would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. And she's also showing up where she's showing that she wants the appreciation. She wants the hearts on there. So that way she's also showing up. She's not just hiding away inside the community. She's also doing the engagement. So that's the thing that's also important too. Anytime that you have an attitude like that, I always notice those are the successful people who show up, but also show up for the support, because when you're part of the community, you get the free likes. That's the likes that you get from the community. Like I said, eBay doesn't know that you're a part of this awesome community, and you automatically get a bunch of support. You also get a lot of likes. We have members in there where they buy each other's artwork. I buy members' artwork all the time. I put bids on there. Other people put bids on there because you're part of this community. This is the support that you're going to get. But it's awesome that she's showing up. Let's look at some of her artwork just from this view. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. I mean, look at this. And the reason why I love her artwork, I mean, not only is it so beautiful, which it is, but it's also the simplicity of it, where a lot of times we try to do more. We think that more is best. And a lot of times it's where less is best, because people really want minimalism. One of the things that I've learned when it comes to eBay is people want less. People want to see that you're confident enough to just show up and do something that's very bold, but then you don't have to do anything else. You don't have to crowd the painting. Painting never stops. That's one of the things that one of my first mentors told me, is that painting never stops. Like, you can keep painting. You can always keep doing things. That's why when they study the masters paintings, right, from the past, they have so many different under layers of paint, and they have another painting underneath of it. They usually paint on top of other masterpieces. But the beauty is that you could just show up and be yourself and go on to the next painting. A lot of times we overcomplicate things. It's kind of like the ant. We overcomplicate things and we put ourselves in these limitations when we could just make things simple. What I'm saying, at times when you get comfortable enough to want to do the volume, it's really about you feeling confident in your mind that you're enough. You're enough to just show up and have pieces that are minimal and you could just go on to the next one, and that's strong enough. It's the same impact, and eBay records it as the same impact because they're just recording it as an item number. So just show up and know that you are enough. You are already a superhero. You are already a creator. You are already a phenomenal person. A lot of times we don't need to overcomplicate things and feel like we need to spend more time and more art and more paint and more all into one painting. All right. So let's go into her store right now and let's just check it out. All right, Mimi's Art Studio. So let's see what her banner looks like. This is awesome right here. She's got Mimi's Art Studio, original artworks, timeless. That's classy right there. I like that, timeless. Look, she just started. She just started like a week ago. And you can see right here that she already has 9 followers. So that's 9 real collectors. That's not social media followers, right? That's not people liking your stuff and they don't want to do anything with it. They're just giving you free likes. I used to hate those days. I mean, there was a time where I was collecting free likes and free followers for free. We all were. I think we all were, or we didn't want to do it, but we all were doing it. Let's see here. But we were all doing it, and we had the free, we had the free likes. But at least here, she's earned these collectors. These collectors are her. These are people who actually have warm credit cards that they already purchased from her before. So these are already buyers that she's got in just such a short period of time in a week. You know how hard it is for people to actually get like real 9 collectors in their lives? Like if she wants to, she can always email these people. She can always set up a promo that a newsletter will go out to these people. These people will always be informed, and they'll be more informed than a email list or anything like that, because they'll always be a part of this. Like emails, people ignore those, but people are going to ignore their app where eBay's telling them, hey, Mimi's got some new art going on. So let's go back into here. So I'm just proud about that. That's why I'm going off of this right now, because she really just started. I think she's still in the 14-day orientation of getting everything up, but she's just been doing a phenomenal job. All right, so let's look at some of her artwork. And the bids here, they start at 99 cents. It's not 99 cents, buy it now for original artwork. They start at 99 cents. That way you're getting your sales conversion rate up, you're getting your store up, and then you're in the eyes of eBay where you sell your buy it nows. People don't understand how to sell their buy it nows and their higher price stuff is to get your conversion rate up. We have way higher conversion rate than people who been selling for years as resellers in clothing and electronics. You know why? Because they have to sit around and they have to hope that eBay is going to praise them with a sale. They don't know either if they showed up enough or if the item is good enough that's why they got the sale. How we push the algorithm is through the auctions. We push the algorithm where the sales conversion rate is automatically high. So here, when you start out the gate with us, you automatically get a high impression rate because you get all the likes and followers. And you also get a high conversion rate out the gate because you're automatically pushing the system where people are buying from you at a high rate, higher than any other system. So you're already out the gate like a top seller on here without being a reseller. All right. People in the elite community, they understand how this works. If you're part of the echelon, this is how you make the sales. This is how you make the real money. So she's doing a phenomenal job by getting the competition and by getting the competitive bids going. All right, let's see here. So let's go into her artwork right here. I mean, this is beautiful stuff, right? Like, look at this. And you can just see the simplicity of it. She understands that she's enough. Now, you can also see on here that she's adding enough photos on here of her artwork. So she has this as her main photo. So you can see an idea of what it's like on the frame. That way you also have an opportunity to do the upsell on the frame with the 9 collectors that she collected in such a short period of time. She shows what it actually looks like a practical shot of what it looks like. Then she has on here a description of why you should buy from me. That way it gives you the warm, fuzzy feeling of why should I buy from you? Because you're an actual artist. You're an actual real person. You're not some Chinese factory, all right, that's just pumping these things out through a print. she shows what she shows what her certificate of authenticity would look like. An example. She breaks down, she's protecting herself by showing the money, how you do this for each box. Look at this. Not only is she protecting herself in the description where it shows this, but she's protecting herself where it actually shows as a listing. This is awesome. This is amazing work right here. And this is very smart. This is someone who's running out the gate and doing it correctly, where she's breaking down the rules of how to make the money. This is how you make the money with the combined shipping when people buy multiple from you. They buy multiple from you, they get a combined shipping rate, and she breaks down how it's going to be charged per box. 4 to 5 canvases per box, $15 per box, $2 per additional canvas. You're profiting, you're making money straight out the gate automatically, and you're getting paid to collect collectors, and you're getting paid while you build your store up. There's no other business out there in the world that's going to pay you while you're building up your store, while you're building up your business, and also while you're learning to get better on the job. And then she has a picture of herself. Hi, it's me, with artwork behind her. Thank you. That way it looks more personable about who she is. This is a phenomenal listing right here. This is great. This is how it's done right here. Everything is perfect. Save with combined shipping. You understand? So from the outside looking in, people don't understand the business model and how it all racks up, how we make the money. And look at this. She has such colorful artwork. This is so cute. People love artwork like this. People love work like this to put in their kitchens and areas like that. Now, one suggestion that I would make on here, well, 2 suggestions, is that you add a couple more photos. More is best. So just add maybe like 2 more photos. But another thing that I would suggest right here, these are obvious. This is a canvas, right? So if this is a canvas, you don't want to show a canvas with a white matte border like this, because people are going to be under the impression that it's a paper art. Instead, you want to have it without the white matte border. We only put this white matte border here if it's a gallery paper art. So that way because people usually matte white paper art. They're not going to matte canvases, right? Like nobody mats canvases. Not typically. It's very rare that people matte a canvas, but people matte paper. So that's the only suggestion that I would have for your mock-up. But either than that, everything is great on here. Phenomenal job. Let's look at a couple more art pieces. Oh, this is too cute. Come on. Who doesn't love cats? People love cats, all right? I mean, we know that, but people love cats when it comes to eBay. Look at that right there. That's just so beautiful. I'm telling you, less is best. You're gonna surprise yourself. The thing that always surprises people is like how much money that you're gonna make by actually doing simple artwork. And then once you see that, it's going to open your mind up to do more of them. That's how you're going to be able to pump out more artwork. You think I was able to sell 18,000 paintings because all of them were Mona Lisas and they were complicated and complex? And no, a lot of them were simple paintings, but people love it and they pay for it, and they pay more for it. They either pay more for it through the auctions or they pay for it through the buy it nows because they want it right now. They got a gift to give. They got somebody in town. So take advantage of that. All right, let's look at this last painting and then we'll go on to the next Segi. Look at that. That's awesome. Listing is right too. She has cats facing the sky. She has the size right here, and then she has great keywords right there, all capital letters at the first word. Yep, everything looks good on here. Everything looks great on there. So go to her store, give her some love, give her some follows on here. Let her know that you came from YouTube. Let her know that you came from the community. You're giving her some support. She's new. She just joined and she's doing a phenomenal job. She's already got 9 followers. She's already making money for herself in comparison to people who feel like they need to be perfect and they're waiting by the sidelines. You're not making money at all. By the time it's a month or 2 months from her, she's already profiting. She's making money. And then you're contemplating and you're making excuses. So don't be that. Don't be that person. You could join, click the link, and join us in the community. Let's see here. Now let's go on to the all right, so that's what we had right there for our artist spotlight. Our artist spotlight right there. They did a really great job. I really love covering that. Love showing that. Love showing them support, giving them some love right there. It's really important. It's really important because everybody's been, you know, doing a great job, showing up, being committed, and that's what it's all about. Beautiful artwork. I just love, I'm always inspired. I'm inspired by everybody's artwork on there. So I'm always inspired anytime that you share your artwork. I see all of it. I give love. I give hearts on there. And then if there's something that really catches my eye, I'll even put some bids on there because there's something that I might want for myself. All right. It happens all the time. All right. Let's see if we have some comments in here. All right, let's see who we have here. All right. No super chats. On to the next. All right, now on to the next segment. We're going to be covering the winner. All right, we're going to be covering now when I talk about winner, we're all winners, right? We're all winners because we show up, we're being consistent, we're showing up to work, we're doing the listings, we're doing what other people don't. All right, like other people doing the old traditional way of thinking that the sales are going to come from the sky. By then, you could have just been and got a regular job, being a greeter at Walmart or something like that, right? But we're showing up. And we're making the art, we're being consistent, we're being held accountable. And now those are the things that are so important because look, if I can do it, you can do it. And it's just great to see people who actually show up, work the system, believe in it, and they see the profit. This is eBay, right? Like eBay is not going to be a multi-billion-dollar corporation if they're not selling products, if they don't have the biggest market in place. They spend $3 billion a year just on the marketing. And they're putting that money up front. You don't even have to spend that money. You don't have to spend anything up front. You only pay a little bit of promo if you're painting sales, and that's on the back end. But we control the promo rate and how you can hedge yourself against that using the buy in now. And all of those things are broken down inside the community. But you don't have to do anything up front and compared to other businesses. So eBay is not going to be profiting every single year on their stocks. And they're not going to be a top, the only competitor to eBay is Amazon, right? And they're not going to be in business if they're not having the market that's there. The market is there. They have 150 credit cards that's already linked in there, and they have 186 million people who are shoppers. So those are the real followers. Those are the real likes. So I just love to see where a lot of times people say to me, hey, does this work internationally? And I tell them, yeah, it does, because eBay is global. So this winner right here, or this one who's going to be giving their success story of them winning, they're going to be showing in here, or I'm going to be showing you how they've been winning internationally, how they've been winning in the UK. And that's a great thing to see, because most people think that you're only could be successful by doing this in America. And that's not true at all, because we have successful people who are in Europe. So this is just a great example where I could finally show one of our winners who's in the UK, and he's been able to make it happen for himself, but also been able to show the proof in the pudding with his documents, or with his graphs and charts, to show the numbers. That's why it inspires other people. If you want to have this spotlight as well, then just make sure that you leave your testimony inside the elite community. Let people know whatever your win is, even if it's a small win, and I will spotlight you on this live stream to show your story as well. So that way you can give inspiration to other people to know that, hey, if I can do it, you can do it. And if you can do it, then everybody else could do it, because that's what we're here all about. All right, so let's go into this segment right here. All right, let's see here. And today's elite winner who announced their wins is Nick Byrne. Nick Byrne been doing a fantastic job. He's in the UK. All right. So here's his breakdown right here, where he says that here's my update. After 2 months of selling for the first time on eBay. Granted, he didn't have an account on eBay. He wasn't selling on eBay. It's his first time on eBay 2 months ago. And he gave his show, or he gave his store info. He's not in America. Now in America, we have a little bit more of an advantage because there's certain things that we get for cheaper when it comes to shipping, but also through a marketplace, right? Because we have more, America's the consumers, right? We're the consumers. And then we have a post office here. Their shipping is a little bit different and their things is different, but he's still able to make it work for himself in the UK because eBay is global. We have successful people in Europe. We have successful people in Canada. We have successful people in Australia. So he goes, my stats so far is 1,500 in sales. Now, mind you, the British pound is more than our USD, our dollars. So really, he's talking about like $1,700 to $1,800 in USD, American cash. So he says so far his stats is 1,500 in sales. He sold 138 items, 500 individual art listings, 2 international sales to America, 6 frames that he upsold, 40 written positive reviews, and 15 repeat buyers. Repeat buyers. So those last 2 are things that you can't buy. Those things are things that galleries don't have. In just 2 months, he was able to get 40 written positive reviews. That's what I call the full circle of life, how you get more money, because eBay needs to see that people, that you had the item scanned, people received your item, you didn't ship them a box of rocks, you didn't ship them nothing, right? And then they loved your item, it was shipped on time, and they wrote you positive feedback. This gets you ranked higher up on the algorithm, but it also will earn you more collectors, because what do collectors do? They go to the feedback, they see how people have done in your store, especially like the numbers that you sold. So depending on how many numbers that you sold, they look at that to see where you're at. But also he had 15 repeated buyers. So these aren't people who just bought one time and then they left. They come back over and over and over again. So never be worried. I always say don't day trade the numbers. Don't day trade the numbers, because it always comes back for you in bigger positive numbers. People who buy from you today, I don't look at what they did today. I always think to myself, as long as I do good customer service with them, I give them a good product, they're always going to come back and they're going to buy from me more. They're going to buy more from me, and they're going to buy from my buy it now store, which is the gallery pricing that's higher, because they know that the service is there. So it's always this everlasting loop. And he's only discovered this after 2 months. He says, I'm very happy with my progress so far. My profit margin was non-existent to start off with, as expected. But now it's finally generating profit for me. The sales graph illustrates this perfectly. He says his last note, my favorite artwork I've done out of 500 was very hard to narrow down. It's the Lake Fisherman piece. All right. So look at this. Let's see if I can pull up some of the, photos here. All right. So you can see right here where over the previous time it's 100%, because he had no money. There was no value coming in. So off of that, compared to the last time, it was 1,500. That's 100% up. You can't beat that. He shows this chart right here. The reason that this is important, because you can see where it's growing. It's gradually growing. It's growing. But you know what's important about this chart right here? is that he's getting a paycheck every single day. And that's what matters. These are the things that I always talk about. I don't know about you, but I want to be in the industry of making money every single day. That's why eBay is addicting for me, because I hate to be an artist where it's like, oh, I might sell a painting or a gallery painting for 5,000 or 10,000, and then I gotta split the cost with the gallery or whoever brokered the deal, right? And then after that, I'm over here penny pinching and I'm budgeting my money because I don't know when the next time that I'm going to make a sale. So it's annoying, it's aggravating, and it's like nerve wracking because I want to get paid every single day. I don't want the notion of being like, oh, you're a broke artist. Oh, you're someone who makes paintings and you're supposed to be a starving artist. That's why I never really go off the whole notion of being like, I'm an artist. I'm an artist. Yes, we're all creators. Yes, I'm an artist, but I'm a business. I do digital marketing, stuff like that. That's what I talk about, because I don't want to be in the notion of being like, oh, you have to wait for your next paycheck. It's a hobby. That's how the world looks at you. But like this, and he's just starting off for 2 months. He's already getting to a point now where he's getting higher and higher. Now, if he's doing this at 2 months, what does 2 years look like for him when he has more collectors, when he has more of the revolving door of the more feedback? Like, he's getting to a point right here where he's getting $200, $300, the $400 profit a day. What can you do with $300 a day in your pocket? What can you do with $400 profiting a day in your pocket? These are the numbers that are real. These are the numbers that I'm talking about because they all compound. They all add up. This is how millionaires are made. This is how people get $100,000, then $1 million. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen because you're planning on the larger number. It happens because the smaller steps compound. People don't understand this. And he's showing you the proof. If he can do this in Europe, in the UK, then why can't you do it in America? It's a mindset. It's a mindset. And this is make sure that you get a paycheck every single day. I always said to myself, when I was in corporate America and I was making close to $200,000 a year, I always said to myself, I don't care about this because it's more stressful. And I want a position where I can pay myself $20 a day. Paying myself $20 a day is more important than somebody paying me $200,000 because I can scale the $20 up. I can scale it and I earned it. It's mine. I'm making that $20 that I earned for that day is more important because at least I get paid every single day. I always say that bills are due every single day and I like to get a paycheck every single day. And he's showing it right here. He's getting his paycheck every single day. So look at his beautiful artwork right here. So he's done this in the UK, mind you, in the UK, not America, where we're the consumers and most people buy from here in America, all right? But look, he's done this in the UK. He has 138 items sold and he already has 66 followers. These aren't social media followers. These are collectors. These are people who bought from him. These are people who buy from him, not just one time, but he had 15 of them. No, he said 40. Wait, how many did he have here that keep coming back? 15 repeat buyers. Look at that. Beautiful artwork. And you can see the simplicity of it. It's very simple. It's not stuff that he's taking years and months to do. It's stuff that he's knocking out the park because he's a business and he's going along with the program and he's making it work for himself. These are things that you could do as well too. Or you could limit yourself in your mind, just like the ant, and say that you can't. Or what about this? What about that? You're day trading the numbers. Don't day trade the numbers. So this is amazing. This is great work. Very proud of you, Nick. You've been putting in the work. You believed in it, especially from the UK. You've been making it work for yourself, being consistent. You're getting daily paychecks. Nobody can take that away from you, man. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what you're talking about. Like that's why I'm at the confident mindset. I've been doing this for years. I've already made $1 million. I've been doing this from years, just from the comfort, just from eBay. I've been doing this. No one could tell me anything. You think anybody could tell? Like, nobody could tell me anything because I get paid every day. And you got people over here still trying to figure it out. But I'm showing you the way. This is the beauty. I'm trying to show you the way to free yourself. Get paid every single day. So great job, Nick. Really phenomenal work there. And let's see here. That's what we have there for Nick when we're breaking down the winner circle on there. All right, so let's see who we have here in the we have some chats. All right. All right. Let's see what we have here in the chats. Anything in the chats here? Any super chats? If you're new here, or if you just came in, leave a like. Please leave a like in the video. Let me know that you appreciate what's going on here, that we're doing God's work, we're doing God's business. Also, the show that we're showing support for people because it's very important. The show this, it's like you it's so important because you just have too many people nowadays who are talking about theory. And you're talking about people who don't have any proof of money income or building a business up. In comparison, where we're showing that we're saving lives around here, where there's actual regular people who are making money, who are making the sales. Okay, and I mean it's important. Hi, Jackie. Also, it's important that this is very important that I'm going to say to you, especially if you're inside the community. But if you're not, even if you're not in the community, things that you do in your life, it's very important that you record your journey. Okay, it's very important that you record where you've been. It's important to record how far you've come. It's important to show the small things. That way you can also remember for yourself about how you started. That way you can also show that you started off small yourself. You started off slow, but then you believed in it and you were consistent, and that now your mind is totally different. There's going to be a certain point in your life, either if it comes to art with eBay or your own business, that you're already going to scale past that. You're going to be like the ant who finally got outside the drawn circle, and you can never go back inside the drawn circle. And then years are going to go by, and then you're going to forget that you were ever the ant inside that circle. You're going to forget that you started off slow. You're going to forget that you had these limitations on your own mind, because it's going to be so long that you scaled yourself with confidence and belief, or you're already going to hit your metrics of money, of whatever you're trying to achieve, that it's going to be like a habit to you. It's going to be like a ritual to you. It's just going to be part of who you are. It's going to be a lifestyle for you to be successful, to have a successful mindset, and to know that everything comes to you and that it shouldn't be difficult, that everything should come to you with simplicity, and that your mind is the biggest illusion. There's going to be a point in your time. So it's important for you to record when you're starting off now. And no matter what you do with eBay, with the community, with your business, with your life, it's important to start these things off. Even we also understand how important it is even to record the things and take pictures when we have children, right? And you have the babies, right? Or you have the kids. You're not always saying in the picture, you're looking at how young the baby is, right? And you're looking at that. But really, what are you saying internally to yourself? You're saying to yourself, I was young then. I was looking so young then, or my mind was so young, or there was mistakes that I had to learn along the way. Whereas like now I'm a different person. I'm a different person now compared to who I was when I took that picture and I had a newborn child, or my kids were so young, or the struggles and the trials and tribulations that you went through during that time. A lot of times I look through pictures of my journey, and then I look through, I see how I started, and I might have started off slow, but the thing that I'm internalizing is I say to myself, wow, I remember I was struggling at that time, like I remember that I didn't know maybe how I was going to pay a certain bill. I didn't know, like I was stressed out, but I believed in myself to keep going forward. I had to keep going forward. And that's just a great segue right here, where I'm going to show you some of the artwork and some of my trials as well, starting off with my art journey on here, because we all have them. Let's see here. Let's go into, so record your journey. It's important to record your journey. Let's go over here. Look at this photo right here. You can see this photo is from you can see this photo right here is actually from when I was starting off and I was doing artwork on the kitchen table. I mean, I was doing artwork on the kitchen table here. So it's like I didn't have anything to do. And these were small paintings right here. These were 8x10s. And a lot of them, like you can see right here, I was doing mixed media pieces on there, and I didn't know what I was doing. I was just drawing several things on here. This is even before I understood about funeral home art, as we call it, or more like basic art, eBay art. I was doing a lot of pieces where it was like super duper neo-expressionism paintings, things that I wanted to be more mystic and deep, and I wanted to pump them out like this. But at the time, I was only doing 5, 6 of them. So I would do something like this for the day, and then I would call it at the end of the day. These small paintings right there. I had no structure in place. Or I would try to do a catch-up game. Well, I'm going to list a lot today. I'll list a little tomorrow. But it's just important to have these paintings and this progress, so you can actually show how far that you came in your life. All right, let's see some other photos that I have here that I want to share with you, because it's just important to go down these memory lanes. I want you to get in the habit of doing this for yourself, and these are the things that's going to help you later down the line when it comes to producing art. It's going to help you grow more. All right, let's see here. Let's go into the next one. Look at these boxes right here. So this is when I was in my studio apartment at the time, and I was just so happy to have orders going out. And I didn't know, I mean, I was starting to get a little bit better of shipping them. So you can see here, these type of boxes right here, they had multiple canvases in here. These boxes right here might have had like 1 or 2 canvases. I was spending so much money on boxes like this because I didn't even have the structure how we do boxing now, where we get the boxes for free, and then like I wasn't even shipping it like with how we do it now with the poly bags, none of that. And I was spending so much money on boxes, but I remember taking these pictures because I was so proud that I was finally getting art out. And it's the small journeys along the way. It's the small journeys that you need to record. Looking back at this right here, it's just like, I just remember I was still, poor, but I knew that I was building up collectors at the time. This was something to be proud of because it never happened before. Beforehand, I was doing all the gallery steps. I was doing everything they told me to do, and it wasn't working. I was getting free likes, but I wasn't getting people who actually was buying the artwork, people who I could sell to down the line. Like I said, it was more important for me to make $20 a day than it is to make $200,000, because I could scale that up. People lose. One of the famous quotes that I love is that people lose opportunities because they always think that a paycheck is attached to it. And you want the paycheck today, or you'll think about certain things where you'll lose the opportunity. They're so attached to the paycheck where they lose out. Like some of the brokest people are the people who think about who are day trading every day. who are day trading and counting the numbers like that, they're so greedy and they want it so quickly and want it so bad that they never get themselves the opportunity to actually get rich. Because that's not even how it works. All right, let's go into another photo. Going down memory lane. Let's see here. Where's the other ones at? I was supposed to have this part queued up, but that's fine. It's all important. It's all important. Here, I'll bring this over and just show this. Look at this. Look at this. This was my this is my studio in Tampa, I believe, in Florida, and you can see how I do paper fillers. And look how many that's there. I mean, we're talking what, maybe 2,000 paintings right there, all on paper pieces, but they're all gallery pieces and they're all different. They're all different sizes. I organized them by the size. So these were all 14 by 11s. These were 12 by 9s. These were 12 by 9s. And these were 10 by 8s. And these were 6 by 9s. I think these were 12 by 9s and these were 10 by 8s. Yeah. And I remember separating them out like that. That way I can take pictures of them again. And I can mock frame them up. Oh, actually, hold on. I apologize. I'm not sharing the screen. Sorry. Sorry about that. Let me go back here. Sorry about that. All right. All right, look. So here, I'll go back to the pictures again. So this was my studio in Florida, and you can see right here that these were 12 by 9s. These were 14 by 11s. These were 10 by 8s. And these two were 6 by 9s. But you can see, like, I think with all of these right here, these are probably like 2,000 paintings, maybe, something like that. But what I did is I went back and I took pictures of all these so that way I could mock frame them up. And then I put them back into the store as a filler piece, either for the buy it now or some pieces in here. I knew that once they were mock framed up, they look important enough where I can put them up for auction. And I would put those for a minimum of the auction, or maybe they would be like a 5% filler for the auction. So the rest of them would be canvases, and then maybe I would put like 5 to 6 to 7 of these type of papers up that were really good ones up for auction. So that way I could drive the competition up and drive the bids up, or use some of these as free advertisement. And I would work it that way. So let's see here. Now let me go to the other photo since we missed it. Since I missed it, my mistake. Oops, my bad. All right, so you can see here, this is the box that I was talking about when I was in my studio apartment, and I was just so happy to have this box right here. These boxes to be shipped out. And you can see right here where I wasn't using the boxes that what we use now. I wasn't using poly bags. I wasn't saving money. I was spending money on the boxes, but it didn't matter to me because I knew that was the cost to be the boss. All right, that's what I used to say. It was the cost to be the boss. It was the cost to do business, and it didn't matter because I was earning my collectors. But I was so proud about these boxes. I was so proud about this order. For me back then, this was a huge order, especially coming from where I came from in the gallery days where people love giving you free likes and free hugs, but they didn't spend no money. For me, this was a big deal for me. This was a huge deal for me, right? Like this, I remember this picture was like everything. I mean, look how much money I might have spent on that priority box. Why did I ship it out like that? That's expensive. What was I thinking? I don't know. I don't know. Don't judge me. That's why I always say, anybody who's part of the community now, you're already light years way ahead of me than when I started. I'm giving you all the gems in such a short amount of time where I've spent thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars on my business and I've lost money. And I'm giving you the gems. Like, you get everything straight up, but you still got to work. Like, that's life. What's the other picture that I have? And then this is right here where I was talking about that I was working off the kitchen table, and I would just sit at the kitchen table and I was like a kid where I would have so many different mixed medias. I would have the pastels. I would have the spray can. I would have, oh, actually, that's not a spray can. That was when I used to drink energy drinks. Oh, that's awful. I used to drink energy drinks just to give me like caffeine and energy to want to paint or whatever. Lord, that's awful. It's bad for you. But these are 8x10s right here. And I used to do the mixed media on there where I would do the wheat paste. And then I would just draw little random things on here or whatever. And then I would sell them. Now, a painting like this, right? I would keep something simple like this. And then I would put it into eBay just to trick the algorithm and stress it out. I would say it was $1,000. Now, because it's an 8x10. Who's somebody to tell me that it's not $1,000? But here's the trick. I would put it for $1,000 into the eBay algorithm, and then I would put a crazy heavy promotion price just for that one item on there. So that way it brings in a bunch of traffic. Now, people might not want it, but they'll look at the rest of the store. So I'm bringing in free traffic. I use it as a commercial piece. I just gave you free elite game right there if you're not part of the elite community. And then sometimes what would happen is I would actually get a random person in there, and then they would come in and they respect just the value of it, because humans are like that. They want things that they can't have or things that are expensive. And just because it was this basic and I have $1,000 price tag on it, I would sell it. People would buy it. A random person would buy it. It might take a couple months, but it would still get sold. And yeah, I would end up paying a heavy promo price off of it, like maybe 50% or something like that. But it's worth it in the long run, because then I just made a quick, easy $500 off of something that I didn't even really work on. But it was a promo piece to bring people into the store. If you're not a part of the community, join the community. Click the link. It's in the chat. Save your life. Make some money for yourself. I break all these things down. Let's see here. I was just reading some of the comments. Funny. All right. And then let's go into. Now, a lot of times people ask me how I stored my paper, right? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this right here, how I did my papers. Now, how many papers do you think that is? Right? I mean, those are paper arts that were into the buy it now store. They were also into the auction at times when I needed them to be. But we're talking about, I don't know, maybe 4,000 paintings right there. And that's how I stored them. But you can also see on the box, right? If you look at the box, you can see where I numbered them 1 through 36. That means that the folders that's in there. So that means there was 36 folders. In each folder, there's 25 paintings. And then on the other box, I would do the same thing. So right here, you can see where it's like 140 through 177. These are folders. Because I'm not going to skew each one of these. That would take forever, right? Instead, only thing that I skew is the folder. It's easier for me to look through a folder that has 25 paintings than it is for me to flick through so many of them. I'm not going to do that. That would take too much time. But it's just easier for me to have one folder and then 25. The reason why 25 is because when we have at the bottom of the page on eBay, you can filter the page per 25, 50, 100. So it's just 25. And then this is like one section of my boxes for the buy it nows. Hundreds, no, thousands. We're talking thousands, discerning light. This is thousands. This isn't hundreds. This is thousands. That's thousands of paper for art right there. And that way you're just filling the store. That's why I also say at times, like there was times where I would paint, I would draw more and do more paper art than I would on than I would have canvases or I would paint. Let's go to the next one. Now, there was a point in time where also I was doing a bunch of canvases, or of course, like canvases, I meant like large canvases, 16 by 20s, and I was doing portraits. So these are the portraits that I would do. And I would always line them up in the studio of what I got done doing against the garage door. Now, like this, for example, is when I was doing a lot of neo-expressionism. I was doing a lot of neo-expressionism artwork, and you could just see how different it is. The thing is, I wanted to be so different, and I always wanted to have different artwork because I need to push my money. I need to push my money. Like if my money is funny, then it's because I need to have different collectors out there. The person who buys rainbows and butterflies is a different person who buys a neo-expressionism, is a different person who buys a cubism piece. They're different collectors at different levels, right? A person who buys a figurative woman right here is a different collector who's going to buy this horse. The person who buys this horse is not going to be someone who buys this neo-expressionism or these flowers. I need to make sure that there's a variety so that way I'm stressing the system. But this is recording the journey. The journey is important for something that you can always look back on. No one can ever take this away from you. No one can ever take away from me that I've sold 18,000 paintings. There's too much proof in the pudding, right? There's too much proof in the pudding. These are the things that no one could ever take away from you. And these are great things to always look back onto in your life. These are things that you can build a business on and build whatever your journey is later on in your life. When I used to always, when we always make fun and talk about the cartels, right? This is what the cartel looks like to me. This is why I say that joke. This is what it looks like to me. Getting it delivered on pallets. Now, when shipping days look like this. Now, this is normally how I would do shipping. I would always pick first. So I'll always have my labels in order, right? So the labels are in order. And then what I do is I do picking first. So I pick everything off of the shelves or whatever they are, and then I line them up and I put the label on top of whatever the canvas is. So that way when I'm done doing my picking, I would put these to the side, and it's easier for me to go whatever the label's on top, I know just to work on that box, work on that box, work on that box, because the label is here. This is how I do my labels. To this day, I still do my labels this way. I put it on top of the canvas because a lot of times the people, they do combined orders. So when they're doing combined orders, this is how I do it. Now, this is one day. And you can see, obviously, that's one day because I'm shipping for that one day. We ship every single day. Record your journey. Record your journey because no one could ever take it away from you. And I love when I get people who are not part of the initiated and they don't know anything about art sales or business or anything like that. And they be like, oh, but maybe you didn't sell that many paintings. Maybe you didn't make this amount of money. I got way too many pictures of me doing the work, having the money. Okay. I don't have to, like, there's way too many. There's way too many. I love it. I love it. And these are going to be things that you could love too, to look into of your journey. Like it just never stops. When we talk about the cartel, so what the cartel looks like, there's the cartel. And then when I'm doing my paper pieces, you can see this was my drying rack, okay? Trying to see if there's some other things that I want to share with you in the journey. Okay, let me share this one, and then I think this will be the last one of sharing like your journey. So for example, these paintings right here, these are paintings that I was preparing. So these are just prepared paintings of what background colors are, just so I can have some basic coloring on the background. Let's see here. There we go. Or hold on. That way, okay, so you see the basic coloring on the background. I just wanted to have basic coloring on the background. That way I go into the projector or we'll go into whatever. You can see some of these right here. These were actually mixed media pieces. These are not completed paintings. These are not completed paintings. It's just that they're prepared. They're prepared with the color, the background color, or they're prepared with, you can see mixed media right here, mixed media right here, and mixed media right here, and probably mixed media on this one right here. And I think mixed media right here. I could tell because it has the wheat paste on it. So the whole purpose of me showing this is how I would prepare my days. Anytime that I would go into the studio and I would say, okay, what was holding me back? What's holding me back going faster or whatever? And the thing that I found that really helped me is having canvases that was already prepared with somewhat of a background color or prepared with the wheat paste of whatever the mixed media. And how I would separate these is I would do them by 5. So you can see right here, this is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, right? So you already have 80, you have 80 canvases right here. I wasn't joking with you when I said some days I go into the studio and I say to myself, I'm going to start the day and I'm not going to leave until I do 80 canvases. I'm going to figure out a way, even if they got to be, some of these are minimalism, some of them are, these are flowers, some of them are dogs or whatever, but I'm going to knock out this many paintings. And that's going to be what the day is, but at least I have them prepared. I don't have to spend the time preparing them. I'm doing them on here. So I'm just showing you the journey because it's important. All right, so let's go back into here. Boom. So there we go right there. I thought that was fun right there. I thought it's also fun to show you my journey as well too, because it all wasn't built overnight. Rome isn't built overnight. It's just important that you can have where you start off slow, feel your groove from there, and then that's how you're going to be able to scale up from there, depending on what the money is. But it's better than nothing. You can make $50 a day. We all know you can make $50 a day from eBay, all right? The problem is sometimes we want more than that. We want it fast because we're broke right now. I get it, but we all can make $50, $100 a day. It's easy when you break it down that way. We know how to do that. We know how to do that, okay? Even with no experience or whatever, we know how to make $50 to $100 a day and get the paycheck every day. All right, let's see who we have here in the comments. All right, let's see. Do you rent storage units to work in? No, I don't. I don't rent. I don't. Studio, yes. Okay, yes. I have leases. Yeah, I have studio leases. So like even the studio I'm in right now, it's leased, and then also in Florida as well too. The reason that I like to do it that way because I always like to be geologically free, and that's something that you should work for too, or depending on where you're at in your life. But that's something that personally I wanted. So when we talk about your whys, when we talk about things that you want for your life, your motivation, some of the big factors in my life are things that always reign supreme to me, as I like to be geologically free. Where I'm at, I want to be able to move when I want to move. I want to be able to be financial wherever I'm at. I want to be able to do what I want to do wherever I'm at. I don't like to be tied down to a location because of a job or because of certain situations. I like to be that's the real thing of freedom for me, or being even financially free, is being able to be like, if there's an emergency or something happened, you can get on an airplane and you can go to a different part of the country, maybe even different part of the world, and you could be geologically free and still be able to run your operation, run your business, or not be tied down to a thing. So that's always been something um, that I've gone off of. 80 paintings a day is hardcore. Yeah, yeah. I mean, but you don't have to. I'm just showing an example of me. You don't have to. No one has to do that. That's only if you want the results, right? And I wanted the results because I'm ambitious. I want the results because I have overhead. I want the results because bills are due every single day. I wanted the results because I've already seen 100,000, 300,000. I want $1 million. So these are the things that what it looks like. This is what success looks like. Everybody else goal might not be the same, and you don't have to. eBay still works for if your goals are just, hey, you want $50 a day, you can get $50 a day. That's easy. You want $100 a day, you can do that as well. It just depends on where your goal is at and how much time that you have. I had all the time in the world to do that. I wasn't on social media. I wasn't distracted by other stuff. I was just in work mode. So looking back on it, this is something where I was like, I was in grind mode. But the cool thing about being in grind mode is you can say to yourself what the exit plan is. So that way you're not in grind mode forever, because then that's burnout. Burnout comes from not knowing when the end date is, when the exit is. That's burnout. How you can really grind yourself to make your goals and to do a great thing is you can say, you know what? I'm going to just always give yourself permission to fire yourself every 2 to 3 months. Say, I'm going to stop doing this in 3 months. In 3 months, I'm going to retire. In 3 months, I'm going to not do this no more. I'm just going to do this until whatever. Like, give yourself that time thing instead of the money amount. The money's going to come regardless as long as you put the money in, or as you put the time in. So I never really thought about the money all like that, because I know the money's going to come as long as I do the work. So I would always focus on the time. So I would say to myself, hey, in 2 to 3 months, I'm done. I don't need to do really this no more. I'm gonna retire, and I'm gonna fire myself. That way, it's easier for me to wake up in the morning time and be like, all right, you're only grinding today because you're firing yourself in 2 months anyway. So what difference does it make? Like I would have a calendar, and I would write on the calendar like with the X's, like it's Christmas Day, right? And I would be like, all right, you only got 56 more days to go, and then you're done. I like to do this. I still do this to this day on certain things to myself. That helps me get out of the bed and work hard. A lot of times people get burnt out and they hate their lives because they feel like, is this all to my life? Is this it? Is this going to be every single day of my life? I'm gonna have to wake up, go to a job I hate, do this, work hard, and then I get nothing from it. What's the exit plan? So I always tell people to give yourself an exit plan. And then when the day comes for the exit plan, you can reevaluate your life and say if you really want to do an exit, or if you want to give yourself parole again, and then you just want to extend it for another 3 to 4 months. Then you can say that to yourself. Normally you extend it. The crazy thing about how eBay works is like it's so addicting. Like it's addicting. Like once you start getting a taste of where the money, and you're getting a daily paycheck every single day, and then it gets bigger and bigger. That's the thing that it hooked me in. It's addicting. eBay hooked me in. That's why I've been doing it for so long. It's addicting. But the thing that helps of working hard for anything in your life that you do, just say to yourself that there's an exit plan, whatever it's going to be. Say that you're using it to go on a magical vacation, or you're going out of the country, or you're doing something, whatever it is. Give yourself permission that you have an exit plan 3 months out of the line. That way you say, all right, okay, I'm waking up hard today, but man, I can't wait. In 2 more months, I'm not doing this no more, but I'm going to work hard today because I only got 2 more months to do this. All right, let's see here. I'm just seeing what other comments that we have. All right. But also, that's going to be a great segue into our next topic, where It's never, never, never too late. All right. It's never, never too late. It's never too late to be. It's never too late to be who you want to be. It's never too late to do the things that you want to do. It's never too late to be who you were supposed to be. All right. If you're new here, if you just came in, leave a like in the video, leave a like. Thank you for the super chat. I was going to say that too. Leave a super chat if you can. It lets me know that doing a great job. But also super chats really help the algorithm to show YouTube that we're helping out, that we're giving great advice. We're saving lives around here. We're doing God's work. So thank you so much, Sinjin. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you. I've been thinking about you, Zinjin. I was like, I hope she's okay. I mean, I know you're okay. I just know that you're always working. You're grinding that out. So I like to hear that too. Because at times when I know that certain people are focused in, it's like, all right, I'm not hearing from them too much. So I know that they're focused in, they're grinding it out, and that's always a great thing. All right, so on this one right here, I want to just talk about why it's never too late. All right, we got Queen. Let's see here. We got Queen Sarita here. Awesome. Happy to have you here. Happy everybody's here. I appreciate everybody showing up today. I really want to say that too. First off, I appreciate everybody being here today for the live stream show that we're doing. Let me know in the comments right now how you like these live streams, right? How we go over, we got a structured show, things that we follow, things that we do the spotlight on. We talk about business, talk about success. How you like these in comparison to our painting shows? Let me know in the comments. Be honest, it's okay. Feedback is always good. I always like to hear feedback. So it lets me, lets me think about some things. I mean, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna change anything, but no, it's fine. But no, let me know what you think, how you like these live streams. All right. So let's go into the topic right now. What we're going to be talking about is never too late. It's never too late to be who you're going to be. It's never too late to be who you were supposed to be. It's never too late. But I was reading the comments. I got thrown off track there. I apologize. It's never too late to be who you want to be. So we have people who think that, oh, I missed my chance. I missed my chance to do this. It's too late in my life. It's never too late for you. I mean, we have older people who are starting and they're winning. It doesn't matter what age that you are. Usually the most successful people that I found in the community are usually a little bit more mature and older, is because they've either been through life or they have more of a discipline. So they have more of a discipline, and also their ego's not involved. Really, when it comes to being successful in business, and especially when it comes to being successful in how we do art on here, is to not have your ego involved. A lot of younger people, sometimes they can have their ego involved. So it's kind of hard to, like, especially nowadays, where it's like telling someone, to do something, they buckle, right? They like, their ego is involved and they get so sensitive. You hurt their feelings by telling them to clean their room. That's how the younger people are now. Or they think that they're going to be an influencer and it's just going to fall from the sky. You're going to be an influencer. You're going to get $1 million check from posting and whatever. And it doesn't work like that. So it's never too late to be who you're supposed to be. People thinking that technology is moving too fast, when this model, it doesn't need hype. Everything is already built for you. I was thinking about this the other day. The beautiful part about eBay is that it's already built for you. There's no other business that you can have that builds everything already for you. Do you know how many businesses out there that you would have to buy your own editor? You would have to buy your coder. You would either have to figure out how to do coding. You would have to build up your own website. You have to do all of this stuff. Then you got to put the product in there. Then once you do all that, you have to pay somebody who's a marketer. or you have to pay for a coach who's going to show you how to market your business. Then you have to pay for the actual marketing ads yourself. Then you have to create the ads so you can put them on there. And then hopefully people are going to like your business and they don't even know what the business is. This is the only business where the technology is already built for you and you don't have to be tech savvy. Plus, on top of that, in the community, I show you step by step how to do it for yourself. I have a copy, paste, downloads, screenshots, everything is there for you. And it's the easiest way that you're going to learn how to build your business up overnight. And you're going to have your own business. Like I said, when you start, you were introduced in a 14-day sales orientation. So that means that during the 14 days, you're already going to build up your account properly. You're going to have your whole storefront. You're going to have your listings on there. And then you're going to have your first sale by the end of the 14 days. Everybody sells in the community. Everybody makes a sale in the community. There's not one person who hasn't made a sale. Everybody makes a sale. So you will make a sale. You don't have to be tech savvy. You didn't miss your moment. But also, you got people who believe in that younger people have the edge when that's in reverse. I'm telling you, the simple repetition, it beats speed. The people who I know who are the most successful are people, like I said, in my program, who are older, more mature, more disciplined, and they have more of a mindset to drop the ego. Younger people, it's just harder. It's harder because they have the arrogance. And I'm gonna be honest, young people in this day and age, they have such an arrogance where they think that it's supposed to come to them, and they don't have the mindset of where you could give them directions, you could give them advice because they think they know it all, and then they mess up. And then instead of them taking blame for themselves or accountability, they end up saying it's someone else's fault or, oh, it's the system's fault, instead of them just actually putting in the work. But also you have where people thinking that it's too late by talking yourself out of trying. And it's all about trying. It's all about just trying different things. Buyers don't know your age. Buyers don't know what your limitations are. The only people who know that is you talking to yourself and you having these internal thoughts. So you don't have to have internal thoughts to yourself, and you don't have to talk yourself out of trying and talking yourself. Like, I understand, like, your mind will play a trick on itself. Let's see here. I was reading some of the comments, seeing what people's feedback was. So that's awesome. But I understand your brain will play tricks on itself, and your brain will talk. Your brain is right, whatever it says. You can either talk your way into success, or you can talk your way out of success and be like, oh, what's the point of trying? It's too late. Don't do it. It just becomes like the ant who's trapped in the loop. Okay. But also if you're making age the main excuse, you can learn step by step. You can learn step by step in this program. I have everything broken down step by step. And you also have the community that's in there to help you on steps that maybe they were held up on. So that's the best thing about the community, is that other courses you have where people, it's just a course by itself, and you're just, oh, here you go, you figure it out. All right, thank you for the purchase. In comparison to what we actually have a community where people will help you along the way, but I give you a step-by-step on small tasks. It's like homework tasks, but they're very, very small tasks for each day. So that's why it's like during the 14-day that you'll have something very small that you could do, very simplistic. And as long as you check that off the list, by the time that you're done in less than 2 weeks, you'll already have your account built up. You'll already have everything lined up for you, what to do, to how to run your business, and how to have at least your foundation going. Anyone can do that. No one knows how old you are. But assuming it is too late to learn home routines fit real life. It's never too late to learn anything, but also you'll have everything at home. You'll have everything at home where you don't have to go out into, I understand like just the notion of having to try to be an influencer, or having to go out to do art fairs, having to go out to be like, man, maybe I'm at an age where I don't feel like entertaining people. I don't feel like talking to people. I don't feel like upselling and selling myself. Because then it's like, who wants to feel like that all the time, where you have to do an upsell and you have to always constantly talk to someone, and you always have to sell yourself, and you have to put on the personality, and then they're like, oh, that's really great. I like your art. Thank you. I'm going to give you a like on Facebook. Do you have a Facebook page? I'm going to give you a like on Facebook. How does that feel? And you're like, man, I just talked to you for an hour and gave you a full personality. People think that it's a waste of time when they do art fairs and galleries because the time and money that you put into it was true. The thing that's the biggest waste of time there is that you have to go there mentally prepared to give a personality and put on an acting show that to be personable, and you got to sell your artwork of who you are, and you're a good person, and this is how I built it, and you got to do all this stuff, and then when you're done with it, you're exhausted. You're exhausted because you had to deal with people. You don't have to deal with people when it comes to eBay. And like I said, when I was doing eBay, I'm a ghost. I don't have to do it. That's one of my favorite parts. I just want to show up, create. I want to be home. I want to be in the studio. I want to list. I want to get all my supplies delivered to me. I want to have the post office guy pick it up from me. I don't want to deal with me having to put on a personality when I don't want to. When I want to put on a personality and when I want to help people, these are things that I do in my time that I want to do that's beneficial. But I don't want to do it for something where it's not beneficial and it's a waste of time. So you don't have to do that as well, where you feel like it's too late and you're too old to deal with people. Because I understand that's how I feel. Like I'm like grumpy old man, all right? But also, people quit before the real start. And that's why we also have the community there to keep you accountable, of how you're doing, where you're doing. A lot of times, the hardest thing for me, like when I showed you where I recorded my journey, I recorded the journey where this was something to keep myself accountable because I didn't have a community, right? I didn't have a community. I didn't have like-minded people like you that I could talk to and that we're in this together, or that you're in this together when you're starting off, so you can see other people are starting with you and they're doing this with you, because consistency matters more than youth. It doesn't matter about how old you are. It doesn't matter about the youth. It's about consistency. There's young people who can't show up and be consistent, but I got people at all age brackets and who are more mature who can show up and be consistent. So I wanted to break those things down right there, why it's never too late to be who you are meant to be, why that how you could be successful. Everybody's going to be successful. All right. So many people are successful who have more of the mature mindset. It's never too late. All right. It's never, ever too late. All right. Let's see here. Who do we have in the comments? Lee says, late start on art for me. I didn't know it's what I need to do because it wasn't time. Other careers needed to happen first. This is the happiest that I've been. Exactly, and that's how I felt too when I started doing eBay art. I was like, this is the happiest that I've ever been. And the reason why it was the happiest that I've ever been, because it was the first time in my life that I had control over something outside of myself. Every time I was always working for a corporation, or I was always doing something that I had no control over. But this is the first time that I had control over something in my life. Appreciate your creative process and the mind shift from the YouTube videos. First time catching the live. I appreciate that. That's awesome. I love that feedback. Thank you for writing me that. Because this is my passion. This is what in life you're going to be successful. You're going to be successful regardless. You're going to be successful in doing art, but there's also something deeper inside of you, or something that you're naturally good at, and you need to find that what you're naturally good at and hone in on that. And that's something that I'm doing as well too. I've always been good at encouraging people. I've always been good at coaching. And I've always been good at vocalizing my experience. So this is something that I'm honing in on, and why it's better for me, and why I feel better doing these type of videos and more personalized on the coaching. All right, let's see here. The variety in shows keep it lively. The shows have been fire lately. I appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm telling you. So as I was telling people earlier in the show, if anybody just came in now, is that I'm cutting away from the live painting shows because it's a lot, and trust me, I'm not really being a true service to you, and you deserve more. I'm not being beneficial to you where I'm giving you the best, because I'm juggling, I'm walking, I'm shuffling two thoughts, I'm doing a show. It's like there's a lot of things going on, and then I'm not. Every time I get off, I feel guilty that my train of thought and my coaching wasn't as sharp as it should be, and the message of what needs to be going across, because I didn't come into here to be a content creator. Like, I've already built up that part. That's why it's like record your journey is part of it. The record your journey is me doing that for 4 to 5 months, where I already have 300 painting videos on YouTube, and it's in a playlist. If you want to see me paint, there's 300 videos that you can watch me do that, and that's over 1,000 paintings. So I already did that part of the journey. Before that, I've already sold 17,000 original paintings on eBay, right? Those are the journeys. Now it's the evolution. Let's see here. Do you think eBay will become too saturated with artists? Does competition affect profit? No, not at all. It's not going to be saturated at all. There's enough money out here for everybody. There's enough money out here for everybody. There's enough opportunity out here for everybody. And we're in a category that is not as big as everybody else's category, because it's not like we're reselling clothing, baseball cards, electronics, and reselling shoes, reselling watches. There's a bunch of categories that's larger than us. Our category is original art. So we're still in the top echelon when it comes to that. So that's why we're in the best. Now, it would be hard for me to try to get on here and tell people to go resell clothes. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that because I would be lying to you, and that would be a saturated market. Hey, resell shoes. Could you imagine that? Me getting on here telling people to resell shoes? You know how difficult that is? Like I might as well be a greeter at Walmart, or I might as well get a job at Foot Locker. Then that's better off than being a shoe reseller. That's so difficult because it's so saturated. Everybody's trying to do that, and then you're competing against China. You're competing against corporations at that speed. But in our category, there's no competition for original art. Let's see here. A lot of influencers say over and over it is about getting out and having a lot of conversations. It sounds exhausting. It is exhausting. It's exhausting because in this day and age, a lot of those conversations go nowhere. It's meaningless. Instead of you doing already the filter, the eBay already does the filter by having the buyer there. The filter is that you have the credit card. The filter is you wanting to buy right now. You want to buy. I only care about someone who's purchasing, because then I could upsell you on the purchase later on, or another purchase, or another painting. I owned you. I earned you as a collector. You know how many times out there, and you know, this is a great conversation that we kind of accidentally gone into, but you know how many times out there where it's like, you know me, right? Like I could talk, right? I could talk, but I could also be an introvert. Naturally, I'm an introvert. But I could be an extrovert when I need to be. And when I need to be is like going out and then doing the gallery shows or doing these events. And then I'm talking. By the end of the night, my throat is raspy at the end because I'm talking so much. But guess how much money I got for it? Like I'm talking to the wrong crowd. And a lot of times you do that, you give your energy to the wrong crowd. Like you're over here. Oh man, just thinking about it now, it's just like, it kind of annoys me. I used to do galleries, and I used to be spending so much time explaining an art piece to somebody, or what it means, or trying to be so, mysterious, and all the art is this, and give a background of how the layers is, and how I did all this, and whatever. They don't even buy the painting. It's like, oh, thank you for giving me a free tour. I don't have time to give you a free tour. I got art to do and I got stuff. Then at the end of it, I'm exhausted. And you're not exhausted because you didn't sell anything. You're exhausted because you put on a personality. You sold yourself, and you sold yourself for nothing. All right, let's see here. Let's see. It says you can film your paintings and do a voiceover if you felt like it. No, I don't feel like it. Let's see here. Zinzin said the painting works for me. I'm going to the playlist. This new form works. It's like we're growing into a new reality. We are growing into a new reality. And these are things too that you always need to think about yourself in your life, that you always need to evolve and you need to grow into a new reality as well too. Or things get stagnant. Things will always get stagnant if you try to, things will always get stagnant. You will have to evolve, especially if you put the work in for it. All right, so I wanted to go over that with you. Yeah, it's never too late. Never ever too late. All right, so the next segment that we're going to have right now, we're going to talk about, let's see here. The next segment that we're going to have, I think it's working for yourself. Working for yourself, the job market, and why it's risky. Why it's always so risky it's more risky now to be in the job market than, let's see here. Or I had to change up that topic. Yep, work for yourself. It's more risky now to work for somebody than it is to work for yourself. It doesn't matter what it is. That's why I'm always proud of the elite winners. That's why I'm always proud of everybody, the artist spotlight. I'm proud of everybody who gains their own collectors. I'd rather earn my own $20 than somebody pay me $200,000 because they could fire me at the end of the day and I'm not prepared for it. And then there's so many things that's changing right now where people they're blaming AI, they're not blaming AI, or it's the job market. It's the oil crisis. There's too many variables. So why would you put yourself in a situation where there's too many variables and you're putting yourself in a situation where people can smile to you in your face and you don't bring anything home to yourself? This is the time for you to bring something home to yourself. This is the time where it matters the most to have your own business. It costs you almost close to nothing to start your own business on eBay. Start bringing in $50 a day. Bring in $50 a day to yourself. Bring in $100 a day to yourself. It costs you nothing to have your own business and to start working for yourself. This is important. It's important. That way you can not put all your eggs in one basket and then get thrown off. You put all these years into a company and then at the end of the day, they're the ones who's profiting and then they're going to do a restructure on you. They're going to do a restructure where they're going to take your job away. Or it's even crazy when I hear from the youth or younger people where they go, oh, the job market is tough and I can't get a job. And I'm like, but in this day and age, you have so many different avenues of where you can make money by having your own business. Like if you want, the only way that you can make money in this day and age is to have your own business or to have a form of your own business. If not, they're not going to give you enough money to free yourself. They're not going to give you enough money to get out of the loop, the rat wheel. They're not going to give you enough money to free yourself. The only way that you can free yourself is to work for yourself, to start up a business, to start up an eBay account, start making sales, start making the money, join the community so you can learn how to do it. You don't have to be an artist, or we're all creators, right? So it's like people get that word confused. Oh, artists, like they think that you have to go to art school and all this stuff. I think that we're all creators. I always say this isn't art school because you're already a creator. So let's go into this video right here. Let me share this video. Let me share my screen. Let me refresh this. Oh, here's the
their
volume.
job at Oracle. They woke up and got an email that said, you are no longer employed. You're getting a base severance of 4 weeks and 1 additional week's pay for every year that you worked here. So if you took the last 5 years of your life and dedicated it to working at that company, showing up, fighting traffic, getting there on time, keeping your boss happy, working hard, hoping to get noticed, waiting for that annual review to hopefully get your 4%, then you got 9 weeks pay, and then you're asked out. You better figure it out. You better hopefully have had some savings. Guys, the game is rigged these days. Like this old idea of go to school, get good grades, go to college, get a job, go out. For most people, that is a failed system. It is no longer the risk-free option or the low-risk option. People used to do this. People used to go this path instead of entrepreneurship because it provided security. There is no longer security out there. We saw waves of layoffs. Amazon, Facebook, Meta, all these tech companies and others, because they're on the forefront of AI. Now, as entrepreneurs and business owners and medium and smaller companies figure out how to incorporate AI as this technology just rages, it's going to get a little scary out there for people, right? And the job market is very much like any other market. It's driven on supply and demand. So yesterday, 30,000 skilled workers that worked in corporate America re-entered the workforce, and they have to find another job.
They got to figure it out.
The most they're giving them is 26 weeks for their most tenured employees. 6 months, guys. 6 months pay, and thanks for a life of service and dedication.
Thank you.
See you later. Have a fucking good one. By the way, this is not a failing company. Highly profitable, great earnings, doing very well. So what's the point? How do you analyze this information? Start the business. Start the hustle. Go all in on yourself.
Exactly.
The dream, our parents' dream is not our dream. Our parents' version of the American dream is dead. It is
dead.
All new. You have plenty of opportunity, but getting a job, being safe, having security, buying a house, having a family, that fucking day for most people is long gone, and a lot of you don't realize it. You guys got to figure this shit out.
Boom. Boom. Oh, I couldn't have said it better. I didn't watch all of it, so there was a couple parts out there. I hope I don't get striked on there or demonetized for the cuss words, but I mean, couldn't have said it any better. Couldn't have said it any better, right? I mean, these are the things that we talk about, right? These are the things that we talk about. This is what a lot of people are going through. 30,000 people who played it safe and they lost their job. And they tell everybody they got the title. They tell everybody that they had I'm a senior analyst, whatever position thing is. And guess what? They lost their job and then they got to go out into the workforce and figure it out. And then the sad part is a lot of these people who got to figure it out, they don't have the mindset or they don't know how to go back out into the workforce to figure it out. They've never been in a situation where they were fired before. See, everybody was conditioned into the world, to the American dream is that you get good grades, you go to school, and then you become a robot into whoever wants to hire you. They don't teach you how to be a boss. They don't teach you how to be an entrepreneur. Have an exit plan. Even if you're not a artist of what we're talking about, start the eBay account, join the community, start your business. I always celebrate people when they say, hey, I got my first listing up. I got my first bid. Hey, I got my account just set up. I was like, whoa, those are big steps right there because you just freed yourself and you don't even realize it. Don't let nobody try to sell you that it's a small ordeal. It's not a small ordeal. You just started a business. You just started a business that's going to be profitable, and that's something that you own. Nobody can take that away from you. Nobody can take away your collectors of who you earned. It's more risky to work for someone else, and then they're going to smile in your face. They're great actors. That's what their job is. They're great actors to lie to you about what the success is going to be. All right. The only success is from you to bank on yourself, you to bet on yourself. That's the main reason I'm doing this. I'm doing this to open up your mind, to free yourself. This is something that I was saying to myself years ago. Think about it. I was on eBay for 8 years. Prior to that, I was a gallery artist for like 3 years, right? Prior to that, I'm in corporate America for like 20 years. And these are the thoughts that I'm always saying to myself. I knew that it was just played out. I knew that it was outdated. And this is even before 2020, right? We all know the world changed after that. This is even pre that. And I knew that something had to change. Something's going to happen. They're programming you now where AI is already here. Everybody's already know it's already here. You have the metadata data centers that are already here. What they're introducing you to and programming you for is the physical AI that's about to come out. The physical AI is about to be in control. We have the software version of the AI now. They already have them produced. I'm talking about the robots. They already have them in production. The physical version of AI is going to roll out. All these jobs of what we were thinking of, they're outdated. If you want to free yourself, this is the only way to free yourself. I'm not telling you to go out there and to start a business where you have to get an LLC, you have to get lawyers and attorneys, and you have to do all this crazy stuff. We are in the only business where it takes almost less than nothing to start up. Start the business, start eBay, free yourself. All right, let's go into the next video right here. Let me turn the volume on.
And nobody taught you how taxes work, but you know the mitochondria.
Let me refresh this one so we can start it from the beginning.
In school, and nobody taught you how taxes work, but you know the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. In 1852, Prussia invented modern schooling, not to educate you, to create obedient factory workers and soldiers. Think about what school actually taught you. Sit down, be quiet, raise your hand, ask permission, don't question the teacher. Sound familiar? That's your job. They were training you for your job. When you gave a creative answer, wrong, red X, fail. When you memorized the expected answer, gold star, a great.
You see that? These are the things that I always talk about. This is the programming. This is why people who are usually very successful in life, the millionaires and billionaires, most times they weren't good with the authority part of school. The people who get the straight A's and they've been programmed their whole life, those are usually the people who are the robots in the program where they just go and get the job for the title, but they need permission. I used to make a joke like some of these people, they actually need a book to get their permission to tell them that the sky is blue.
Grade. Good job. Creativity punished. Conformity rewarded. Exactly like your workplace. Now think about what they didn't teach you. How to do your taxes. How credit cards trap you. How mortgages work. How to invest. How to negotiate your salary, how to start a business, how to protect your mental health. Nothing. 13 years, and not one lesson on how money actually works. But 3 years of algebra you've never used. Because here's the truth, an educated population is dangerous. A population that understands money doesn't fall for credit card traps. A population that understands investing doesn't stay in the 9-to-5 forever.
And I would like to correct it on that. I think that we have too many people who are educated. Educated just means the paper that you're getting. A knowledgeable society is dangerous. The educated one is what they push for. Those are the ones where they push you through the system and the institutions of college and get the job and then get the 30-year mortgage on the home. So that way you're not what? You're not geologically free. Once you do these type of things, you don't have freedom. You're not geologically free from your job. You're not geologically free from your house. You're not geologically free from the loan. These are traps that I never wanted for myself.
A population that thinks creatively doesn't accept the one path they gave you. So they kept you ignorant on purpose. Then they sent you to university, gave you a degree, and a debt you'll spend 30 years repaying for a job that asks for 5 years experience you don't have. And when you graduated, you walked straight from the ceremony into a cubicle. Different uniform, same cage. You went from raising your hand to ask the teacher permission to raising your hand to ask the boss permission. Nothing changed, because nothing was supposed to change. You were the product. School was the factory. And the workplace was always the destination. They didn't fail you. They did exactly what they designed school to do. The question is, now that you know, what are you going to do differently?
What are you going to do differently? What are you going to do differently? What's the definition of insanity? The definition of insanity is to do the same things over and over and expecting different results. How many people that we know in our circle, our friends, our family that are doing the same things over and over and expecting different results? You're never going to get rich following this path. You're never going to be financially free getting this path. And it's not about starting a business and then all of a sudden you're going to get rich. How you get rich is to change your mindset. Once your mindset sees that you have a different opportunity, that you're able to have a form of that you can evolve and that you have a higher form of frequency in your mind, then the money is going to start flowing. I promise you that. Once you just start small and have your own business and have a different form of income that way and open yourself up away from corporate America and away from that grind, then the money's going to flow to you and then you're going to get rich. It's not going to be like, I'm going to get rich just because I'm starting this business. It doesn't work like that. You're going to get rich because you're going to raise the frequency in your mind. You're going to raise the frequency of how you feel about the trap, how you feel about yourself. All right, let's go into the next video.
In 1926.
Let me know in the comments what you think about this. If you could relate to this, if this resonates with you, how do you feel about this? Let me know. Let me see what we have here. All right, we'll go over a little bit of the comments later. Also, leave me some likes if you haven't already. Leave me some super chats so that way I can read them after we're done with this segment and I can go into those as well too. I greatly appreciate it. It helps on the algorithm.
They discovered the perfect trap. 40 hours keeps you alive, but too tired to escape. Henry Ford ran the numbers. He tested different work schedules and found the sweet spot. 40 hours. Not because it's optimal for productivity, because it's optimal for control. Let's do the math. 40 hours work, 10 hours commuting, 56 hours sleeping, 14 hours for eating, showering, basic survival. That's 120 hours, leaving you 48 hours of free time. Except you're exhausted. So you spend Saturday recovering from the week. And
we all know what that feels like, right? You're exhausted. I used to have so much energy, mental energy, and I used to be a genius on the way to work. And I used to promise myself that I was going to find a way out. I was going to do anything. But then as soon as I get off of work, for some reason, I don't know how, I'm mentally drained. And then when the weekend comes, I still don't work on the thing that I'm supposed to do because I'm drained from the week. And then you know what else happens? The money that they're paying me to forget my dreams of working corporate America, I take a fraction of that paycheck and I blow it on dumb stuff just to help me feel better about having this job. I buy it on clothing. I buy it on food. I buy it on entertainment things that don't push the needle. And then I'm falling deeper into this trap because those things don't make me happy and I still have no ownership. And I'm only doing it because I have to go back to work on Monday. I was the type of person that I never could enjoy my Sunday because I knew Sunday just meant that the next day I had to go to work on Monday.
Sunday, dreading Monday. Your weekend is
Oh, we just said that.
isn't freedom. It's recovery time, so you can do it again. Monday morning, the alarm goes off and you feel it, that existential dread. 5 days until freedom. 5 days of giving your life away. For what? A paycheck that disappears instantly. Rent, bills, food, loans. Nothing left. You want to start that business? Too tired. Learn that skill? Too tired. Build that project? Too tired. That's not an accident. That's the design. If you had energy left over, you'd leave. If you had money left over, you'd build something. If you had time left over, you'd organize. They can't let that happen. So they found the formula. Just enough money to survive, just enough time to not completely break, just enough energy to come back tomorrow, but never enough to escape. And then they tell you, work hard for 45 years, then you can retire.
Yeah, so you can retire. But then what happens at that stage? You're already tired of life. You don't feel like doing the things that you were supposed to do. You could have been doing them already. You retire. Then they say at that time, oh, you'll have your mortgage paid off at that time, and you can have equity. Okay, what do you plan to do with that when in 30 years later? What do you plan? Like, you're going to start a business then? Oh, I'm going to start a restaurant. These are all lies and traps. By that time, you're already old and it's too late. I mean, I know we tell you that it's never too late, which it is never too late, but also they also took time from you. They robbed time from you. So these are the things that I always passionately talk about, is that they already robbed us of too much time already. Don't let them take any more time from you. Start today. Start the business today. And the cool thing about you being here on this channel, I'm not telling you, hey, start the business today. I can't stand these get rich quick guru coaches where they're like, start the business. What business? What are you talking about? I'm just supposed to randomly figure some stuff out. At least when you're here at this channel, I'm telling you what to start. I'm telling you how to start. I'm telling you where the product is art. I'm telling you the places on eBay. I'm telling you how to do the algorithm and how to do the listings, how to set your account up, how to set your business up. There is no guessing game. Everyone else, just start the business. Just start the business.
So you do it. You trade your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s for a paycheck. And at 65, you're free. Except your body's broken, your energy's gone. You spent your best years building someone else's dream, and your freedom came too late to use it. The 40-hour work week isn't about productivity, it's about compliance. Keep you tired, keep you poor, keep you busy. Too exhausted to think, too broke to leave, too busy to organize. That's not employment, that's control. And you'll do it for the next 45 years. Unless you break or escape. But you won't, because you can't afford to. That's the trap.
Ooh, oh man, that closing line was crazy. That closing line was like so strong right there. That closing line was so strong. You want to, but you can't. And the reason why you can't, because you can't afford to. And even if you, and I hear that so often. A lot of times people put that in their mind, but I can't afford to. You can't afford to because they put you in the situation where you can't. You got the mortgage, you got the multiple kids, you got the loans. They put you in this situation where you can't. And you're too tired to figure it out. But the thing is, with eBay, you can do this part-time because it only takes 3 to 5 canvases to get started. All right, let's go to one more work for yourself video.
You will have spent 93,600 hours of your life making someone else's dream happen, not yours, theirs. At the end of it, the state pension gives you £221 a week. Think about what 93,600 hours could have built if even a fraction went toward something you owned, something that grew while you slept, something that didn't stop when you stopped showing up. The 9 to 5 was never designed to make you free. It was designed to make you stable enough to keep showing up. Stable is not free. Stable is managed. There is a difference. The moment you feel that difference for the first time changes something permanently. You cannot unfeel it. What was your moment? Drop it below. I want to read every single one.
I've had too many of those moments. And I mean, I just had to break free from it. It didn't matter what it was, but I remember praying to God that whatever he was going to bless me with, whatever that moment, I was going to run with it and do my best and not put it on these limitations on myself. Because a lot of times we put limitations on ourselves. Sometimes we'll have a conversation and we'll say, oh, these are things that we want. Like, I honestly want this. But then you get an opportunity where you could free yourself and it's something that you could do for yourself. And then all of a sudden you don't run with it, or you make excuses, or you slack off. There was even moments like that with eBay. I seen that eBay was working. I seen that I had the opportunity to bring something home for myself to actually make a difference. But the thing is, like we also we also get intimidated by success. So we sabotage ourselves. And then I was doing self sabotage things where I was like, because nothing else, a lot of times we get in this circle where they call it generational traps or generational curses, where things don't work out for us for such a long time, where when something does work out for ourselves, we think that it's just by luck or by happenstance or happens chance, and it's not supposed to be meant for us. So then we start doing things to self-sabotage it. And I was doing things like that when I started with eBay. And then I had to take a look at myself and be like, hold on. So really, it's not the opportunity, it's not life, it's not success that's the problem. It's me that's the problem. I might have internal issues that I need to work on. And a lot of these things happen. But I just a lot of it for me was just the commute to work and from work. I would just have these conversations with myself all the time, and never wanted to be the person where I'm always talking about a problem, I'm always complaining about an issue, but yet I don't have a solution. Because who wants to hear people like that? Like, especially if it's like years on years, like if it becomes years and years of you being that type of person where you're just always complaining or you always have an issue, but you're not having any kind of plan to have success or any kind of plan or solution, then those type of people is just like the worst to keep listening to over and over and over. It's the same thing. You're talking about the same thing. All right, let's see here who we have here in the comments before we go on to the last segment, which is going to be it only takes 3 canvases to get started. And we're going to be breaking that down. Only takes 3 canvases. See in the comments here. Let's see. Says my dad is 86 now. I know he meant well, but not the character to conform. I packed up my life and moved several times. It's not fun all the time. I want my base now. Yeah, I could see that as well too. And it's okay to have several, it's okay to have different bases, you know? I personally couldn't do that as well. Like, even though I talk about being geologically free, I'm not talking about being so geologically free where I would like get in a van or I would do anything like that. I couldn't do anything like that. I need bases. So I like having several bases. So it's like, now I have a base in LA, I have a base in Tampa, I have a base in Ohio. And then, I'm looking at a couple other bases that I want to set out to in my life. These are things too, but it's not to be like a nomad kind of situation. It's more like where I would, um, have a property where I own in these certain things and just set it up that way. I don't like to be where it's just one base, is what I'm saying. All right, let's see here what else we have in the comments. Someone says 86 is not a boomer. That's more like a pre-boomer. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Boomers are more like in their 70s now. 86 is almost 90. Yeah, the silent generation is before the boomers. Yep. Yeah, that's the silent generation. Either way, all right, that's the generation that screwed us over. No, I'm just joking. I'm not one of those. I'm not one of those. I mean, I know there's a lot of people right now. I know it's so trendy and popular for people to knock the older generation, the boomers or whatever. Um, and there's a lot of faults and things that I can point at as well too. But that's the generation that did receive wealth, and but at the same point, I'm in the mindset where it's like whatever. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to complain about it the whole time? You can't change anything. You can't go back in the past. I always say if you want to go back into the past and if you want to have a time machine, the only time machine that you can do is get money now. Start your business right now. Start your industry right now. At least we're in the industry where there's 5 billion people on the internet. Whatever you're into, there's people out there who's into the same thing. Get on eBay right now. Sell art right now. Make your money today. Take your money today, flip it into an investment. eBay gave me the opportunity where I could have investments. eBay gave me the opportunity where I could invest in other businesses, where I could, that's the only thing ever in my life. A lot of times people talk about in our generations, when we talk about generational curses, where people talk about investments, a lot of people don't have investments. They don't invest in stock. They don't invest in crypto. They don't invest in gold, silver. It's not because they really weren't educated enough to do it. It's because most times where we come from they didn't have the additional income to do it. Most people only had an additional income just to go on a vacation once a year or to do certain things like that. But there was never additional income to actually make the investments. Those are the mindsets. So I don't really fault. I mean, whatever. I could fault a lot of things, but I refuse to be a victim and say, you know what? Life ain't fair. The only thing that's fair now is that nobody's going to save you but you. And I had to save myself. Save yourself. You can still save yourself right now because at least that you're in a generation of the internet. All right. All right. Let's go into let's see here. Let's go into our last seggy right here, which is going to be, it only takes 3 canvases to make sales and be consistent. All right, let's go into this right now. Boom, and here we go right here. It only takes 3 canvases to be consistent. And to make sales. Now, when we talk about 3 canvases, a lot of people thinking that you need anything more than that and that you need more to get started. You don't. And then you get burnt out before you even start. So people give themselves an excuse to not even start because you're thinking that you need to do so much more and you need to have a volume, and you don't. When I first started off with eBay, look, I was a gallery artist. I had a bunch of artwork that was already available. I was blessed enough to have a storage so I could get rid of art. But I was only starting off doing 3 canvases a day. And that was artwork that I've already created. And I was just listing it that way. I always tell people all the time, I'd rather you do 3 to 4 canvases a day and be consistent with that than you show up because you're inspired one day or you had a strong cup of coffee and then you did 20 canvases, but then the day after you do 1, you do 2, or you don't show up at all, but you're like, oh, but I had a strong Monday. Yeah, you had a strong Monday, but you weren't consistent. It only takes 3 canvases a day for the algorithm to get familiar with you. For anyone in here who doesn't understand how ads are run when it comes to marketing, eBay, especially Facebook, or when it comes to digital marketing, when you spend money on the marketing, the algorithm AI, they have to understand what your routine is. They have to learn it. It's called the learning phase. And let it learn who you are. Start small. Let it learn that you're consistent with the 3, and it will give you strong 3 buyers who are good buyers and will buy from you. Just start with those 3. Then what marketing people will tell you, if you get on a contact with a senior person like with Facebook or something like that, when it comes to the money and marketing, they'll say, once you see like 2 weeks later that the system understands who you are and that you've been consistent with that, then it's time to scale up. Then it's time to do a 20% scale. Don't scale up to which your don't scale up to where you think that you want your potential to go. Scale up just 20% because I'd rather you be consistent. It only takes 3 canvases. When I started off, this is how I was doing it. It got to a point where I was only doing 6 canvases a day after my first year. And I thought that that was a lot and I couldn't do more than that. But I was still able to make money because I was being consistent by just focusing on those strong pieces. There was times where I messed money up by going too fast, thinking that I wanted to scale up too fast. And then the algorithms got to relearn me again. So then what happens is it kind of breaks the structure of what I built, the data. So if you have 3 canvases, you have 1 canvas that could be your best seller. The one that you already know, it kind of proves, you know, it sells and you could just paint it again. It could be like a piece, like I call it your Mona Lisa, because you're starting off, but it's something that maybe you spent 20 minutes, an hour for, or maybe it's something that you're blessed that you already had in your house or your studio and you could put it out there. Then your canvas 2 could be the variation. It could be something that you're not into, but maybe the market is into. If you're not already a part of the community, I have a list of the top selling themes already of the SEO, which is the search engine optimization, on things that are the most popular in there. Cats, dogs, whatever the themes are, there's a list of them in there that you could follow. That's the variation. It doesn't matter if you're not into the cat or dog or the landscape. Before I started doing eBay, I wasn't painting cats, dogs, and landscapes, but then I started getting into it once I understood that the variation was there and the money was there. Then you have Canvas 3 is your experiment, which is something that you actually gain a reference from either how we pull it up off of AI reference, or Pinterest, or something of that you find that's something completely different. You can grab it from there, and then that's your day right there. At least you have your 3 variations and you're going after the collectors. But as long as you're being consistent and you can do that, just say to yourself that you're going to do that 6 days out of the week. Just say that you're going to start off doing that, and you will be getting your $50 to $100 a day. Okay. Everybody makes sales. You will be able to get $50 to $100 a day. So if you do the math off of that, I mean, what you're already talking for that week, then that you've made yourself the $250 to $300. What can you do with an extra $300 for the week? There's plenty of things that you could do. Multiply that by the month. You're already making the $1,000 to $1,200 just by focusing on the small steps. Let the system learn that you're doing the small steps and you're being consistent with those. The problem how people don't become consistent is because you were trying to run before you could walk. Don't run yet. Just crawl. Be consistent with the crawl and you'll have the build up. Focus on the $50 a day. If you focus on the $50 a day, then think about it. It all compounds at the end of the month. So if you're doing $50 a day, and let's just say that you're doing that either 5 days a week or 6 days out of the week, right? Then you got $250 to $300 by the end of the week. That compounds if you do that consistently for that month. And that's just you starting off. This is how you build up and you scale your business up. A lot of times people are missing opportunities because you're trying to scale too fast and you're trying to do out the gate the 20 or the 30. There's nothing wrong with that, but be in a mindset where you can consistently do that and you're just not always changing it up. When it comes to marketing or when it comes to sales, the worst thing that I can do for myself, the thing that will always help me, the thing that's going to destroy my business is if I'm running a program or a campaign and then in the middle of the campaign while it's still learning me, the algorithm, is I change something. A lot of times I see that in the community or even outside the community where people change stuff all the time. If you're constantly changing stuff, then the algorithm's not going to get a chance to understand your consistency and it's not getting a chance to give you the proper buyers. eBay is a multi-billion-dollar corporation because they use the same type of AI that Google and Facebook use. I went to these conferences, all right? I went to these conferences to learn how the system is coded inside. So that's why I'm telling you the game, the biggest thing is consistency. But the biggest thing when I'm talking about consistency, what I guess I miss out on and telling you is that you have to be consistent not to change stuff. Don't go back into the campaign and you want to change the pricing all the time. You want to change the numbers all the time. Because then the system's like, you're still a new person, but who are you? We don't know if you're a degenerate. We don't know if you're actually not shipping stuff or if it's real. We don't know what's going on. So they're going to throw you off. They're going to throw you off by that. All right, hold on. Let's see here. Oh, sorry about that. There we go. All right. Up. And not this one either. I think I canceled out. Hold on. All right, there we go. So it's important for the system to just understand who you are and to make sure that you're being consistent. Those are the most important things that I always talk about in the system. You don't like, this is the only business where you don't need money to invest in your business. You don't need money to invest in eBay. The very minimum is $100, $120. But if you're doing 3 canvases for 6 days, right? Then you're already talking about doing like 18 listings. If you do that if you do that for 4 weeks, then you're already talking about like 70 listings per month. Now, let's just say if you only sell 20% of those, because that's how I like to think, where not maybe everything's going to get sold because the system has to learn you. If you're selling only 20% of those, 60 listings with 12 swells a month, I mean, you're still averaging where you're going to be getting $500 a month then. What could you do with an extra $500 a month just by you starting small? There's no part-time job that's going to do that for you. And that's just by you selling from eBay, selling from home. As long as you're working in small increments and you're starting small and you're having letting the system understand, you're just doing the 3 canvases. That is what's going to work for you. That's the thing that's important. Let the system learn your campaign. Let the system know. Don't try to do too much too quick. I always say Rome wasn't built overnight. Don't try to run before you could crawl. I understand a lot of people, they want it now. It's kind of like, what was that girl's name? I always think about that girl from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I want it now. I want it right now. I think I sing that to myself every single day, and I'm making fun because I'm like, there's so many people who want it now. And it's like, dang, it took me like a year or two to get to where I wanted it, where I could actually scale it up. You could make your $500 to $1,000 your first month by just focusing on these small things. You can do that. Anybody can do that. Everybody makes sales inside the eBay community. Everybody makes sales. You could do that by working it small, but let the system know who you are. Don't tweak your campaigns too much. A lot of times people will be like, hey, my numbers had dropped off or something changed. And I go into the store and I'm like, yeah, because you've been tweaking too much stuff too quick. And the system, it's an algorithm. And their algorithm AI is run off of the same things that Meta and everything else is run off of. And if anybody knows anything about marketing and doing campaigns, you don't change the campaigns and change too much stuff too quick. Let it marinate on who you are. Let it marinate who you are so it can have the strongest collectors come into your store. And then once they come into your store, they're giving you the feedback. They're seeing that you're shipping on time. You're getting the scans on your thing. These are the things that's important. Then your snowball effect gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I mean, you're talking like an average where you could get $500 to $1,000 a month. That's a car payment. Some people that might even be like close to their rent, all right, or maybe half of your mortgage. But that's all from you just still doing part-time, and you putting in the numbers of you starting slow, because at least you're building your business up. You're building your business up on a strong foundation. A lot of times people are all over the place and they're frantic and scared money makes no money. You're just doing too much too quick. And it's like, it's only been your first month. It's only been 2 months. Instead of just focusing small, 3 canvases is all you need to focus on, because at least let the system understand who you are. Then 5 canvases, then 10 canvases. I have this all broken down inside the elite community, how you can do this for yourself. And I call it the 5, 10, 20. Actually, here, you know what? Let me pull this up on my screen right now, because this is important. I'm pulling this up off of the community. And as long as you're being consistent and you can work it and don't over-evaluate yourself. Here, I'm going to bring it up right here. This is awesome. And, you know, people skip past this or they forget. This is in the community right here. This is one of the lessons that we have, and many of the lessons, right? But this one right here is like the complete list. But you can see this is the universal auction schedule for all levels: 5 a day, 10 a day, 15 a day, or 20 a day. It breaks down your daily routine. If you're a beginner, 5 a day. You only need to focus on 3 to 5 a day, but don't change it up. Don't be like, all right, 1 week you're doing 3 to 5 a day. The system don't know who you are. The algorithm's not used to you. And then all of a sudden you do a 20 a day. What's going to happen? You're going to overboard the system, and the system's not going to give you any sales, because the system has to understand who you are to give you the right collectors, the right people to come to your store. If you're only doing the 3 a day to start off with to get comfortable, you only need the starter store. The starter store is $4 a month from eBay. So your startup, just to have your own business, your own website, your own hosting, is only $4.95 a month. So that's why I have down here, consistency beats perfection. It's not about being perfect. It's not about Mona Lisa's. It's not about having the prettiest art. It's about consistency. And as long as you can do that, then you're going to win. You're going to win. Just let the system learn you. Make your additional, get the paycheck of where you're making your $50 to $100 a day. You can do that. All right. Let's see here. Let's see here who we have in the comments. The Sweet Life, gave me $5 super chat. Thank you so much, with gratitude. I greatly appreciate you, Sweet Life. Always giving the love and support. That means a lot. That means a lot. Also helps out the algorithm. Lets me know that we had a great show. Let's see who else we have here in the super chat. Any super chats in here? Just the Sweet Life? All right. So that's what we have there for the show right there. That was a really cool show. I mean, that went by really quick. It went by really quick for me. I really enjoy doing these. I appreciate everybody who tuned in today for the show. Also, leave a like if you haven't already. I was gonna say eBay. I'm so always thinking about eBay. It lets YouTube's algorithm know that we saving lives out here. All right, we're doing God's work out here and helping people out, because that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about for me. And having these different things out here, especially where we talk about it's never too late. You can start, just start. There's no such thing as perfection, because it's riskier to work for a company in 2026 These companies can get rid of you for any reason. It's coming. The world is changing in less than a year. So this is the time right here where you can be part of the generational wealth transfer and put yourself in position. Now, I'm not going to say that maybe eBay is going to put you in position by eBay alone to have generational wealth, but it's going to give you an additional income and an additional energy where you could bring money in, and then you could at least take those profits and put it into things that are going to generate generational wealth in different avenues for you. Because these are the things that I've done for myself, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without eBay. All right. So that's what I got for you today. I'm going to be here tomorrow. We're going to have another live stream show just like today. We're going to be having artist spotlight. I appreciate everybody doing the work on there. We're going to be showing the winners on there from the elite community, people who are making it work for them, or people who are having the sales. If you're already a part of the elite community and you have a small win, or you have something that you want me to highlight for you, please also drop a post in there today of something that's working out for you. Maybe it's a sale, your first sale, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. Drop it in there so that way I can highlight you, and I can put you in the winner's circle where we have in that segment right there, and that'd be really cool. Before I get out of here, let me see if we have any other chats on here, any super chats. All right. I appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow. Love you guys. I'll talk later.